Okay, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first round of the playoffs. This is going to be the first round of the losers bracket. Last Cipher versus Vendetta. I'm joined here with Miki. Hello, Miki. Welcome.
Hey, man. What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Today, we have, again, first round of the playoffs. For those of you who don't know how the system works, it is going to be a top 6 playoffs. We did have 10 teams overall in this league, so the top 6 did qualify for the playoffs. The top 4 automatically start out in the double elimination winners bracket, which will begin the next weekend. But we do have the 5th and 6th place teams do unfortunately start in the losers bracket, and that is going to be played today. First round of the losers bracket, again, Vendetta versus Last Cipher. I'm very excited. Both of these teams, I believe, were 2-2, so this should be a pretty close matchup, and I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too, man. Like, when you see losers brackets, you always see these teams go head-to-head. You always see them fighting for their positions, and everyone's just, it's all down to the wire, and everyone's just there giving it their all, and it's just something beautiful to watch, honestly.
Absolutely. So it looks like we are going to have Galaxy Iris hunting again here for Last Cipher. We've seen quite a bit of Iris throughout this league so far, so should be a very exciting matchup for sure. Looking at the character selections, which were done, I believe, before the match, it was a mechanic ban. And forward Seer locked in for Vendetta here. This is a very logical choice. Seer is just a very good character. You may not seem like Seer's too good against Sculptor, but having that owl to force an extra hit, as long as you kite in the open and dodge those statues, the Seer owl can allow for free transitions without getting statued. And forward, just an excellent support character overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Ford can turn the tides of the game in Survivor's favor, from losses to ties, from ties to wins type thing. And honestly, Seer against Sculptor can also tell their team about Sculptor's position. On a map as small as Red Church, it's especially important, so you don't into her on accident and cause any kind of decrease to your kiting time. So this is honestly a very good choice from wait, who's surviving first, Eli?
It is Vendetta playing Survivor first.
Vendetta. All right, a good choice by Vendetta, honestly, to make this choice and to realize that information is power. So, yeah.
It looks like the second ban from Iris is going to be that Mercenary, so giving Priestess as an option to the Survivor side, also giving Prisoner, so a little bit of Cipher Rush will be available for the Survivors. A lot of Sculptors would actually opt to ban something like a Prisoner, surprisingly. But it does make sense. Again, Sculptor is one of those characters that can get Cipher Rushed because of their strong chase, strong camp. They do have some Cipher control with that, that Chisel, but it's not quite as strong as something like a Dream Witch in terms of controlling those Cipher machines. So Priestess and Prisoner were the last 2 characters locked in yet again for the Vendetta Survivor side, and it is going to be that Sculptor, as we would predict here from Galaxy Iris. They are currently the #1 Sculptor on the North America European server.
Wow, I didn't realize that Galaxy Iris climbed to the ladder like that. This is going to be a tough match for Vendetta, but I think that both sides are fairly matched, and it's going to be pretty interesting to watch. What do you think, man?
Absolutely. It looks like the newest Survivor, Plum, will actually be playing for Vendetta as well. I think they were a fairly recent addition to the Survivor team. So I'm excited to see how their gameplay will affect Vendetta Survivor side here. It looks like they are going with that Priestess. Yeah, so it's really going to come down to, what characters does Iris find first? What build does he opt to bring here? A lot of Sculptors would bring Trump Card and Detention along with Blink, but there are Sculptors who prefer the fast pallet breaking speed. It would go something like up-down Blink or up-down Teleport. It really, again, does depend on the build. And what characters do you find first? Any one of these characters is chaseable for a Sculptor. You can actually chase a forward as a Sculptor. You can chase pretty much anything. The only unchaseable character in the game for a Sculptor, I guess, is like Wildling. That is why Sculptor is probably the best character, the best hunter in the game, because they can chase pretty much any character and get away with it effectively.
The more options a hunter has, the easier their beginning chase becomes. And when it's easier for them to do this, they don't waste time searching around for another target. This is why Sculptor is indeed very powerful, as Eli is saying, and explained very well, honestly, because everyone knows that Sculptor honestly has nothing to worry about in life at all. But here we go. Spawn is Ceremony, aka Red Carpet. The Sculptor is going to be headed right towards Middle Broken, Bottom Broken. Survivors already know this, and they're going to rotate. Good slow vault by the Prisoner right there to avoid detection from the Sculptor. But looks like Iris is still going to find them. That's good game sense right there, knowing his spot. quite well.
Yeah, that is a good good job from the prisoner though, just not getting detected, able to get that speed boost and transition out towards top broken here. Already buying a little bit of time plus from this early game rotation. Now this is Red Church. This is a very difficult map to actually to rotate on because of how small it is. Beautiful job from the prisoner avoiding all these statues. Will they go for a shock here? Does not get it off, unfortunately. Because that statue, when you're getting pushed by a statue, you cannot use any abilities. That is one of the very strong, aspects of Sculptor. Beautiful statue there from Iris. Can they get this last hit on the prisoner?
Prisoner, good job reading the mind of the Sculptor right there. He's going to try to make sure that this owl gets hit while swinging on statue. But Iris waiting very patiently, trying to come up. Nope, there it is. But he only has 15 seconds before this owl's going to expire. He's going to have to make a move.
Beautiful job.
Dang, that was a good move by Iris here. Oh, wow. He definitely waited out the owl, and he knew that the prisoner would have to make a move eventually, needing to vault the window by 15 seconds. So all Iris was needing to do was to buy that time for the owl to expire. Very good job.
Unfortunately, the prisoner not able to get the blink out as well, which means that Iris does have trade swap as an option later in this match and also has blink still available. So it looks like we're going to have the forward with one in order, possibly coming for a rescue. This is very risky. They could go for a distract play as well, but it looks like the Seer and the Priestess are going to continue to decode. And possibly not going for any rescue at all. It wasn't a bad kite. 2 Cipher machines already down for the survivor side here. I imagine the prisoner does have some sort of snooze as well to slow down that chair time. And it looks like, does the Priestess have Tide Turner? They do so. Oh, no, they don't. They have broken windows. So my guess here is they will just sell this this prisoner and push for a draw.
Yeah, indeed. It's a good idea because if you give a Sculptor full presence, it becomes more difficult to draw. And having that ability to draw this early on in the game is going to be really helpful for the survivors and the hunter right there, because having a draw means that everyone's still set at a neutral. If you get a 4-man on either side, it becomes increasingly difficult for the other side to get a strong lead.
It looks like the Priestess was doing an excellent job of feeding that Tinnitus, and now going to be the next target for the Sculptor here, kiting towards this graveyard area. Very strong kiting area. However, they still need 3 pretty much full Cipher machines. The Cipher Rush is not too good here for the Vendetta survivor side. So this Priestess is going to need to do a good kite, and unfortunately, again, the Sculptor still has blink. The prisoner was not able to get it out, and that's going to be very challenging for them here.
Indeed. Priestess right here. She's going to try to loop this as best they can. Really good portal right there, because it needs to... knows that Sculptor is very good at countering looping with her statue, so using a portal and forcing her to go through was a really good idea to make sure that she couldn't statue her. But Iris is just absolutely murdering it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, blink save right there, like Eli said, would indeed make the second kite a lot shorter, since the first kite did not need to expire, and this is not looking so good for Vendetta.
Yeah, the Cipher Rush is a little bit too slow. This is something I've noticed with Vendetta is their rotation has usually been good in tournaments. However, they often tend to over-rotate, and that is costing them a huge amount of Cipher Rush here, unfortunately. Looks like he's able to get that first hit on that Seer with that full presence spike, and we're going to have the forward transition in for this rescue. Let's see what they're able to do. Can the forward sneak in here? Sculptor taking his eyes off the target for a little bit here. And okay, here we go. We do have this rescue. Full statue is available. Can he get the stun? Blocks the stun with that statue. Does get the hit, but still gets the rescue off in time. Beautiful job.
Rescue. Yeah, this is good.
And a follow-up stun as well.
Good. Nice stun right there. Oh, wow.
Ooh, does get that chip, though. And this forward will be double hit now. That is unfortunate. Priest is going to use this portal to transition away here, but only going to have one more to work with. And this is a full presence Sculptor.
A full presence Sculptor is not easy to kite in any sort of way possible, man. Right there, like we see the forward going down. And then now the Priestess is near him too, so honestly, it's looking like a 4-man right now, honestly. But they could still get danger. But Priestess is doing a really good job of getting away from the forward, so forward can self-heal and buy additional time for the team and try their best to at least get a 1-man. I mean, unless the Snipers can get that. Seems unlikely, though.
Yeah, the only downside to this situation is that, the Seer did take that one chip hit, which means it's going to be increasingly difficult for them to actually go for a rescue here. Every time he takes those statue hits, it makes it even harder. So it looks like the forward's still not able to get up, has been sitting on the ground for a while. I'm surprised they haven't used their self-heal. There's no one going to heal them. They need to just use their self-heal here. So I'm really not sure what's going on with that, but
that's wasting time. Yeah, they definitely need to use a self-heal, put pressure on the hunter, and just make things more difficult for them. But like, just staying down is not gonna be beneficial, and there he is, he's up. But the best play here honestly would be to sell and just like have the survivors get ready for a one-man escape, because we know that Cipher progress is not nearly sufficient enough to pull off any sort of draw.
Yeah, beautiful job from the steer, avoiding all of these statues thus far. The forward's going to still hasn't been decoding, unfortunately, and does get the pallets done as well. So not bad. It's stay alive a little bit longer here, but there's something from Iris. Oh, a little bit of a premature blink there. Oh, but does walk through the pallet. The steer actually camped it, but opted not to throw it down, interestingly enough, and he's going to go down there, going to now go ahead and spike the forward, knowing the location of this character. So this is looking like a 5-point lead possibly here for Last Cipher right off the gate.
I was thinking Eli, the reason why he probably didn't drop that pallet right there was because he was expecting Iris to respect the pallet and change up his tactics, but Iris, very good job knowing to read this and just walking through again.
Yep.
Playing the really beautiful mind games with the Seer.
Yep, so it looks like we're going to have the Sculptor continuing after this character here. Seer did use their heal, and forward does go down here, unfortunately. Now all he has to do is locate this Seer, and that will be it for Last Cipher, for Vendetta, unfortunately. And I think he has possibly caught under the trail here. Does he see it? Yep, does see the trail of the Seer. No owl available for the Seer, and a bunch of statues. So, again, this is an excellent start for Galaxy Iris. First hit there does go for that. Second one is not able to get it. Can he get this last hit on the Seer?
Yeah, I mean, as
and
soon
there it
as
is.
this happened, there it is. Yep, as soon as it happened, I was going to say, game is indeed over. GG's from both sides. Last Cipher's Hunter having a very powerful lead. Unfortunately, like Eli pointed out, Vendetta is very good at rotating, but they do it a little too much, costing them a lot of Cypher-ish time. Time is very valuable, as you know, in this game. And every little second counts. Every second you're not ciphering is every second that the game is going by slower for the survivors and faster for the Hunter.
Absolutely. So that is going to be a 5-point lead and a 5-point deficit here for Vendetta. They're going to need to come back in. This puts a lot of pressure on Nickelodeon to possibly turn things around here. Although Nickelodeon Sculptor, that round 1 Sculptor, has been very, very effective throughout this tournament. He has a significant amount of 4-person eliminations, which in a tournament setting is very impressive, considering that it becomes very survivor-sided once you reach a tournament setting. And let's see what he's able to do to actually turn this around. Again, it's going to come down to how well these Last Cipher survivors can play. Now, keep in mind, we are on Red Church still. This is a very beneficial map for a Sculptor because of how small it is, which allows for that Sculptor to have good Cipher control, in addition to lack of rotation from the survivors. And it's also just a lot of very narrow areas which you can place statues in. It's very hard to actually dodge them. So, yeah, again, let's see what Nickelodeon's able to do here.
I honestly think if anyone can do it, it's definitely Nickelodeon. He can pull it back for his team. We've seen him do it on countless occasions. And it's just going to be so interesting to see how he manages to pull this off. I'm excited, definitely, Eli. Stakes are high for Team Vendetta right now. They need to equalize the playing field. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for them to win later rounds within this matchup.
Absolutely. Let me just... Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. Looking into the next round here, what are we going to expect from bans? I really think the first ban will be the mechanic. Again, Last Cipher does have. Oh yeah, it is going to be mechanic instantly banned here, I believe, from Nico. I'm interested to see what they actually opt to lock in. I would expect most likely they could go for a Priestess lock. However, Vendetta opted not to do that. Will Last Cipher do? I mean, Priestess on Red Church, still a very strong character, not quite as good compared to other maps such as Ever Sleeping Town or Sacred Heart Hospital.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, she still has pretty good versatility in Red Church. All those church setup portals leading into the church, into the pallets, are also very good. Not to mention the new window portal on the right side of the, the right, my bad, not me not knowing directions for a bit. On the right side of the church, leading to that pallet vaulting and leading to Graveyard Window. Many strategies can be applied here using Priestess on Red Church. I'd say Priestess is one of the characters who's good on every map except Arms Factory, in my opinion, personally.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's gonna will they lock in the Seer as well? That's another option here. It looks like actually Forward and Priestess. Yeah, so they're not going for the Seer. Nico immediately taking advantage there, banning that Seer. This is a very intelligent decision for him. Seer is just a really strong character against the sculptor. Again, we talked about this, that one owl did extend the kite, and if the prisoner was able to avoid that statue, that kite could have been extended or at least forced out of blink. One of the common strategies for kiting a sculptor is transition in the open so you don't get statued. Force them to hit you 3 times. 1 hit for a regular hit, another hit for a regular hit, and then 1 hit for an owl hit. And that can make your kite at least 60 seconds. Plus rotation is enough to draw or get a secure win against a sculptor. And that is the biggest downside to sculptor in comparison to something like Bonbon. And if you look over in China IVL, they often will go Bonbon run 1 instead of that sculptor. And the reason why is Bonbon is harder to kite because you can drop those the instant chain bombs, and they're very difficult to dodge. So dodging a sculptor statue isn't actually that difficult. It's just that in the process, it usually will allow the sculptor to get a free basic hit. But as a survivor, that's ideally what you're able to do there, what you want to happen.
Yeah, indeed. I didn't realize that bonbons actually gained popularity in China, which surprises me because, Sculptor's been popular for countless of seasons now. And you see a psychologist, Eli. What do you think about this?
Oh, yeah. So a psychologist was introduced to the ICL, into our ICL gameplay here in the playoffs. Mercenary and Psychologist, the last 2 logs for last Cipher. Psychologist, I've been playing her quite a bit in ranked matches, and I really, really enjoyed playing Psychologist. Very simple for character to play, pretty easy, but also very powerful in the process. You can take up to 3 hits before you go down, and additionally, you can heal yourself if rescued before that bar runs out. So Psychologist against a Sculptor, not quite as good as comparison to something like maybe a Dream Witch or a Bloody Queen, but even against a Sculptor could still be very strong. Again, getting those extra hits really makes differences. And no seer available, so they can't take 4 hits, unfortunately. That's always a fun play where you have 4 hits on a Psychologist, but still able to kite for a long period of time, heal their teammates from across the map as well, which is very strong. So I'm very excited to see Psychologist. I think she's a very strong character moving into these playoffs.
Psychologist is the juggernaut character, I like to say, also hit sponge. Psychologist can take so many freaking hits, it's ridiculous. And she does well against chip hunters, not only for this Eli, but also sometimes the rescuer will get chipped once and it will prevent them from almost rescuing entirely. Psychologist counters the strategy by being able to deploy a heal off on her teammate from far away and healing chip hits. It's huge, it's absolutely massive. Rescuers don't need to worry about wasting their items in order to avoid chip hits now if they know they're not being pursued, and it's honestly very helpful in the end because Psychologist definitely brings a whole new dynamic.
Yep, absolutely. Just waiting for these characters to get in here. And again, that is going to be the Sculptor from Nickelodeon here, as we predicted. This is definitely his best hunter, and has proven it throughout this ICL. Has gotten quite a few wins with the Sculptor, which again, we talk about this in a tournament setting. Getting wins as a hunter is not easy because these survivor teams are typically so strong. Plus, all that rotation and voice communication can make the difference. So I'm actually interested to see which players will be playing which characters here on Last Cipher. We do have Walmart and Zai are the 2 most common players on this team to play the kiting type characters. So one of them will most likely go with the Priestess, one with the Psychologist. And then we'll see which ones that opposite goes for. And also, again, it's going to come down to which character does Nickelodeon find first. If you think about it, you have 4 characters on this comp that are kind of difficult to chase. Banning the Seer is a pretty good chase for a Sculptor. If you don't find the Seer first, he's very strong in Sculptor because of the Owl. But if you find the Seer first, it's a pretty good chase for a Sculptor. So Nico has a lot of weak chase targets. They have Mercenary, they have Forward, 2 characters you don't really want to chase, and then you have that Priestess that can loop areas for long periods of time, and then that Broken Psychologist, as we like to say, that can take him to 3 hits. So a lot of difficult chase targets for Nico, but if he's able to find one of those kiters, specifically the Priestess or the Psychologist early on here, that could be very strong for him.
Yeah, absolutely, because Forward and Mercenary are going to be very annoying targets for Nickelodeon in this case, because Forward will buy a lot of time, so Mercenary, and not to mention, but here's the thing, not backed by Seer is very good for his beginning game chase, because Seer can impact the kite duration very, very, very long, and can also just point out information. Like I said, information is key. And we're going to have to see how their team dynamic works. Looks like Last Cipher is going for a very teamwork-based comp this time around with 4 Priestess on their team, indeed.
Yeah, and not only that, you know, talking about support characters, psychologists can support as well. So that is, you know, that is also a character that can support, that can heal across the map, which is also could be pretty effective at any point. So, yeah, so it looks like we're gonna see, I believe, that Zai on the priestess. So and Walmart on the psychologist. We were talking about these, you know, different players playing different characters. So I also am excited to see what trait. Again, we talk about this a lot, but what trait will Nico bring? Will he go for that left-right blink? He does need a 4-person elimination, so I don't expect an up-down blink. That's more of a draw build. He could also go for that teleport to prevent any sort of rotation, but on a smaller map like this, Sculptor doesn't really need teleport. She is a character, again, that can chase a lot of these targets for free because of her incredible chase abilities. So I would expect most likely we're going to see a trump card, detention, and blink to help secure that quick down and possibly have a teleport for the late game.
Yeah, definitely. Because, like, having this small map already gives her the advantage of the fact that she doesn't need to do much when it comes to, like, traveling and all. And it's going to, in the end, make the difference of the game right here. So the spawn is going to be in front of Graveyard, also in front of Outside Church. There's going to be one survivor to the right, and the rest will be to the left. And he's taking a big gamble right here by going for the survivor on the right. Let's see if it's going to pay out for him. But it looks like it is indeed the psychologist, correct?
Yeah, so not a bad find here for Nico whatsoever. He's bringing a left-right build, so he's going to have that insolence as an option here. Does have the slow pallet breaking speed. Unfortunately, that's the only downside to this, this build here. And let's see what Nico's able to do. Can he get these statues here? Chasing the psychologist. I think he would have rather find a priestess, just because I know priestess does have that portals, but she can only take 2 hits. Psychologist can be very strong, taking those extra hits here. And let's see what the psychologist can do in this area.
Yeah, she can take 6 statue hits. That's huge, definitely. Yep. 2 additional statues that Nico has to get on, and the fact that the kite is already being kind of long without a hit right here is already looking really good for last Cipher. But Nico's going to need to be able to trap Walmart, force them into this
beautiful statue
area,
there.
which is really good. Nice statue by Nico right there. Very good idea to trap them in these areas, saying that if you're going to try to kite, I'm going to force you into the areas to my advantage. So Sculptor playing on her home terrain is definitely going to be very beneficial for her right here.
And now the problem, I was gonna say the problem with this is Psychologist does get the heal off in time here, and if Nico was able to get that blink hit off in time, that would have been very nice for him. But does have that blink still available here. Let's see if he can go ahead and get this last statue here. Good job from the Psychologist not pushing that God palette. Nico trying to predict out that statue and trying to get this snipe from a distance, but not able to get any of them here. And Psychologist going to use this speed boost to keep transitioning. And let's see if he can get this last hit. No more pallets available. Oh, does not get the blink off here, and that's going to extend the kite. That one little blink makes a huge difference. Now this kite's going to last an extra 20 seconds approximately, and that's going to be very difficult for him. Trying to push the warp as well. I don't think he's going to be able to make it, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, that blink miss is going to be huge. Still missing this hit. Walmart just forcing everything out here. Forcing Nico to use literally every resource in the tank. Forcing the blink, forcing more statues, and forcing him to get a physical hit. This is a very ideal situation for last Cipher right here.
Priestess is here. This might give a free hit as well. Oh, no. Wasn't able to get that on.
No, Zai's going to try to
get the blink hit, though.
Does get the blink, yes. So it's going to be huge that Priestess is indeed tagged. She can now go down to 2 chisel hits in when Sculptor is projecting the chisel. Yes, indeed, with full presence.
Yeah, now the biggest downside to this was they could have actually clutched up that world portal. If Priestess had a portal set up entering that shack area and getting the Psychologist to that world portal, that could have been very strong. Now the survivors didn't have that as an option, so this is going to be very difficult. We're going to see the 4 drop into basement. This is a smart play to avoid these full presence statues. And we'll see who comes in for the rescue. It's going to be the Mercenary. Unfortunately, the Hunter stopped paying attention for a moment there, and that will allow that rescue. That's
huge. A free rescue on this situation is huge for last Cipher right here. Mercenary being untagged.
Ooh, beautiful statue.
Nice snipe statue by Nico right there. But he's not looking like in the best position. The positioning of this game is definitely in favor of the survivors, as we can see, given that they have 2 Ciphers remaining and that he still doesn't have a target dead on chair. This is looking very dangerous for Nickelodeon right here, but let's see what he can pull off. I'm saying the best move would probably be to chair Chisel near him because he does have tinnitus. He should not be able to. Trying to predict a 4 harasser here.
That chip is so big.
Yeah, that chip's going to be huge. Ford's going to be having to do a on-sun rescue right here. And this time...
He hits the statue! He hits the statue! Does he get the statue? Kicks the stairs!
The rescue! Oh my god, what that statue was amazing! It blocked off the path of the forward. I've never seen something like that ever in my life. Oh my goodness, Eli.
That one play changes the entire tide of this match. No tide turner for this character. Will they be able to make the rescue? Does get that save rescue. He's going to pick up the forward, go for no attack recovery. Gets the down instantly on Psychologist. He's going to chair the Psychologist here. Then he can chair the forward right after. The last Cipher machine still needs 60 or at least 40% progress on it. He's going to go ahead and chair the forward as well. What a play from Nickelodeon blocking that dash there. Incredible game sense, and very unfortunate for last Cipher. All of a sudden, Nico is turning this game right back into his favor.
Wow, amazing. Like I said, you can never count Nickelodeon out or any kind of hunter at all because you see amazing plays like that, and you're just like, that's really insane. I've never seen that before in my life, Eli. This IDV first.
Absolutely. Does get that chip hit on the Mercenary. Priest is trying to rush the Cipher. Is not going to be able to get it done. That Cipher only about 80% of the way done. Nico does have his straight back online. Beautiful statue hit on the Priestess. Can he get a second follow-up one here? Does not look like it. He's going to try to spike here. Does he see these survivors healing? He sees them healing. That could be very big. Can he get a hit on this character here? Good dodge from the Mercenary.
He bounce them out. Definitely healing will be making sure that they can't get anything away. He can't get rid of anything from this hunter. And just honestly, the survivors are now in quite a pickle. Nico can very well turn this from a loss to possibly even a win.
There's the spike on the Priestess. Can he get the Priestess down? If he gets her down here, this could be very big. Ooh, unfortunately, did put those statues a little bit too far off there, and I don't think he's going to be able to get the down here on this Priestess. And does, unfortunately, waste a couple statues there as well. That Cipher only about 30% of the way done. Nico does not need to rush over there. But will he go over there? No, it doesn't look like it. If you're Nico here, you really want to keep camping this Cipher machine here. The survivors need to heal up the Priestess. You cannot let this 1/4 damage Priestess keep decoding because this is what's going to happen. Priestess will get spiked down if she's unable to dodge this. Nico has to be very patient and does get the down. That's exactly the point I was trying to bring up here. You cannot have that injured character keep decoding. Unfortunately, last Cipher had them go for it there, and Priestess will just instantly go down just like that. And will Nico go opt to chair the Priestess, or is he going to keep camping the Cipher?
He's probably going to want to keep camping the Cipher, Eli, because right here we see that the survivors put themselves in a very dangerous position, giving Nico priority and territory over that last Cipher. He's just going to sit on it like a bird on a nest. There's going to be no issues for him whatsoever, because he knows that Priestess is going to eventually have to expire her self-heal, which happened just now, and that next time he downs her, she won't have it. So right now, he's just sitting on this Cipher, but as he does, the survivors should be decoding another Cipher, as we see here. No, I don't recommend the Priestess decode, though, because they are
I don't. Yeah. The Priestess and the forward should be healing up here. They should not be going for this. And the Priestess continuing to decode. Looks like they are. Yeah, they are finally deciding to go ahead and go for the heal here. I think Nico probably acknowledges this by not seeing that Cipher moving. They know they're healing, so he's going to take the time to chase down this Mercenary. But no, it looks like they were able to get the heal off. Priestess heals so quickly. And going for another spike here. Is he able to get any chips on these characters? And did just miss that one, unfortunately, it looks like.
Yeah, indeed. I just was thinking that... Well, they got the heals off now, so survivors are relatively in okay position now. But most of their resources have been used for its football, Mercenary not having any more elbow pads, but Priestess lacking a portal right now. So it's all going to be pretty easy for Nico to chase everyone here, especially with a full presence Sculptor. Like so. Very good dodges by this Mercenary, by the way.
Yeah, if you're Nico here, you need to commit to this Mercenary. You can't just sit on the Cipher forever. I would just take this free hit right here. Oh, does get that follow-up. Ooh, and the hit there. The Cipher machine is primed. They need to wait it out, though, before they can pop. Will Nico, he's going to teleport and force the early pop, and they're not able to pop it. But he's going to take it on the board. Now they can.
Pop it, yeah. Not having the tension either. Look, that forward is gone. He is out of there. I honestly think he should have just taken the portal. I think saving football further right there would have been better. Because, I mean, I get it, he definitely...
And he gets the Merc! He gets the Mercenary down here.
And he's right on the Priestess, too. Everything's going in according to plan for Nickelodeon, almost like just chess. Like, honestly, just making every move count. Everything falling right into the hands of Nickelodeon right here. Wow.
He also knows Priestess doesn't have self-heal, so he's going to spike this exit gate, force the forward off the gate here with these statues. There's one hit on the forward. Can he get more? Nico needs to push this exit gate. Priestess has nowhere to go. I think the forward's going to be able to get it open just in time, but the Mercenary will be put on the rocket chair here, followed by the Priestess who doesn't have that self-heal available. And Nico's actually able to secure a 3-person elimination, not the 4 that he did need to tie up the round, but it is a pretty good turnaround here for Nico. Beautifully played here, getting a win from the Hunter side. Yeah, there's the surrender. 3 personal elimination from Nico. Beautiful job.
Wow, excellent move from both sides. Last Cipher having a very strong lead in the beginning, but Nico turning it around equally with an amazing statue, blocking that forward stun on chair rescue. But the timing had to be so perfect, Eli. When statues move, there's only a small time frame where he could have hit that statue, and Nico places it perfectly, knowing what angle and exactly how tight the forward turn around that wall. Like, wow, that takes calculation beyond measure. Like, wow,
Nico,
still good, man.
Nico really portraying why you don't need to actually bring the tension on Sculptor. Now, I personally encourage players to bring the tension on Sculptor because, it's not, if you're a very good kiter, you're able to dodge those full presence statues. You're able to force basic hits, but and statues can also be used to pull the survivors closer to the hunter. But Nico again showing I don't need attention here. I set all these survivors up to be damaged, and once they pop that Cipher machine, all I need to do is get one more statue hit, which he instantly got on that priestess, got the down without the tension, and was able to snipe down the mercenary as well, preventing them from getting the 4 survivor escape. Also, excellent game sense from Nico, acknowledging, I don't need to share this priestess. She has already used her self heal. There's no need for me to pick her up here. I'll just let her bleed out as I go get the rest of these survivors across the map. And he almost was able to down that forward as well. 1 statue hit short. If he had 1 more, that would have been a 4 personal elimination. Unfortunately, a little bit short there. But Nico going from a survivor side winning position into a win for the hunter is just beautiful game sense and beautiful gameplay overall.
Indeed, a turnaround like that. What a turn of events. As fast as the game was going in Survivor's favor, Nico flipped it around. He pulled an Uno reverse card. He honestly did. He flipped it around for the entire pacing of the game to go in his favor. Not many people can do that. So props to Nico, props to Vendetta for choosing such an excellent hunter and such a capable one as well. It was just wow. I'm still just shocked, man. I don't know what to say. Like, it was very well executed. It was something I'm probably never gonna forget for a while. And yeah, a memorable moment, honestly. And this is probably one of my favorite games I've seen so far. Usually I don't like watching Sculptor because, it's kind of bland. As my friend Skeletor said, watching Sculptor, if Sculptor was a spice for cooking, she'd be flour. And usually that's how I feel. But man, did Nico spice up this flour? This flour had some like sourdough secrets in it, man. It was wow. It was some good flour. Some good flour gameplay.
All right.
So what's the score looking like, Eli?
Give me 1 second. All right, so it looks like it is going to be 6-3 in favor of Last Cipher for this first round. Unfortunately, the Vendetta survivors were 4-manned, so it is going to be a lead here still. Again, Nico needed that 4 personal elimination like we were talking about, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for Vendetta to come back in this. They did get through that first round though, without too much of a deficit here. So this is going to be non-Sculptor from here on out, which is exactly what these teams want to see. If you are the survivor, again, Sculptor is such a difficult character to play against. Just such strong chase, strong camping, plus Cipher control. She can literally down survivors from across the map with those full presence statues if she's accurate enough with them. And you saw that throughout this match. Literally, able to snipe down that priestess, able to snipe down that mercenary. Nico's full presence statues with that chisel were just excellent. He was on point with all of those, and that was huge. And that allowed for him to get that 3 personal elimination. So from the Hunter side here, I don't actually know who's playing Hunter or Survivor first. It's going to be up to Last Cipher. It is Vendetta's map selection here, so Last Cipher will choose who is Hunter or Survivor, and we'll have to see. Again, I think it's going to be from Nico, probably going to be that Dream Witch or that Axe Boy, and from the Hunter side for Last Cipher, I believe they'll go with, I think their other Hunter is Pitstopper, so I believe we'll see possibly something like Bloody Queen. I'm interested to see if Vendetta opts to go with a map that could be suboptimal for Bloody Queen. Bloody Queen is strong on a lot of maps, but something like Sacred Heart Hospital could be challenging for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Bloody Queen usually, when she has a lot of open space, she benefits because she can see exactly where to place her mirror. And a standard Bloody Queen will not miss a single mirror. So, And as we can see, Pit Stopper definitely is not one to do something like that. And also, Eli, we should point out that he might pull out his wheel too.
Yeah. It looks like
Yeah,
the map's
wheel.
actually going to be Arms Factory.
Ooh,
Actually,
maybe
don't
they're
think
doing this to counteract the wheel. Maybe they don't want to see the wheel, and they might be respecting the wheel. I don't know, because the wheel is very tough. Very tough hunter to deal with. Having strength in every single category: chase, camp, map pressure, everything. He fits extremely well. So dealing with a hunter like wheel in tournament is definitely very annoying and obnoxious. So Arms Factor is gonna be a very good pick, honestly.
It looks like Mechanic and Seer were the two characters that were banned, which would indicate a breaking wheel, but an Arms Factory breaking wheel just seems very subpar. This is the worst map for breaking wheel. I don't expect them to go. It is going to be Pit Stoppers. I don't expect Pit Stoppers to play breaking wheel on this map. You'd have to have a lot of confidence in your wheel. You don't even see players in China playing breaking wheel on this map for the most part. So I don't expect that to happen. Possibly going to go for a Bloody Queen, but Mechanic ban as a Bloody Queen is interesting. Possibly just trying to slow down that Cipher Rush. But this does give Mercenary as an option for the survivors to play against that Bloody Queen. Mercenary so strong against Bloody Queen because they're able to save twice throughout the match and also can simply elbow pad away from a mirror image to avoid getting hit by that at any point throughout the match.
Yeah, indeed. So if he goes a Bloody Queen or tie Queen is what to call for, his best move obviously will be going for a tie. And it's just going to be a lot better than using wheel in this case, because wheel could actually lose on a map like Arms Factory. Getting kited really hard at the beginning, since wheel does not have a strong start. Yes, he's still powerful, but not on a map like Arms Factory where there's a window everywhere you turn left. So, like, basically, like Eli said, wheel will not be the very tactical pick. It's still possible by all means, but highly unrecommended because of how just counters he gets on this map.
It looks like Vendetta is actually opting to ban Dream Witch, which I'm very surprised as I don't know how much Dream Witch Pit Stoppers plays. I don't think it's as much as his Sculptor, that's for sure. It could be possible that Vendetta is trying to take advantage of Sculptor getting banned a lot in rank and Pit Stoppers being out of practice with it. That could be, their idea behind this Dream Witch ban, allowing the Sculptor here. I don't necessarily know how well this will play out for them against Sculptor. He's such a powerful character. It's so hard to defeat, but it looks like Vendetta having confidence against that Sculptor and saying, we're ready for this Sculptor. We think we can beat it. And, shout out to them for being prepared for that. And it looks like it is going to be Mercenary and Ford, the two characters locked in here. So no Seer lock for the... Oh, Seer was banned. So, I was going to say no Priestess lock, rather, but it looks like it is Arms Factory. So, again, no need to lock that Priestess because it is such a weak map for that character.
Yeah, indeed. Like I said, Priestess is good on every map except this one right here that's in play, which is Arms Factory. So Arms Factory is good for Survivor and Hunter alike, depending on what is chosen. But like Eli said, they might be depending on him to be rusty with Sculptor because not having used him. But here's the thing, Eli, it's a very high risk, high reward strategy to go for. Honestly, the safer bet would be to ban Sculptor and deal with a Dream Witch that maybe plays like maybe a little above average, because he doesn't specialize in Dream Witch. When you specialize in Dream Witch, it's definitely going to be a lot tougher to deal with than somebody who rarely plays them every now and then.
Absolutely. So let's look back at the bans here. Let's see if there's something new going on here. It looks like it is going to be Psychologist will be banned. Interesting. So this makes sense. I actually agree with this. Psychologist is a very strong character. No reason to do anything else. The only other ban you could really go for here is maybe, I don't know, Prisoner if you're playing that Sculptor. But Psychologist definitely makes sense. Again, Psychologist is a strong character, and the Survivor's opting, or the Hunter opting to eliminate here, it definitely makes sense.
Because Psychologist shows very strong across map healing type things that counter hunters like Dream Witch, Wu Chang, counters M1 hunters. I would say Ripper, countering all those type hunters, is indeed the Psychologist. But looks like right here, Pit very well could be going for a Bloody Queen, because Psychologist is also very powerful against her. Taking these 3 hits instead of 2 is basically another series.
All right.
So it looks like this strategy here is probably going to be mitigating the possibility of sponge-type hit survivors. The meat shields, the juggernauts. Let's say he's going to try to avoid that. That's a really good strategy, honestly, because it gives difficulty for a hunter like you. He's going to go for that. Or sculptor, like you said. Sculptor also taking 6 statues in support is very annoying for them. Any kind of hit sponges do need to be removed from the equation in order for this hunter to have these smooth interceptions.
Okay, so we should be getting into the match momentarily here, and we're still waiting on the last 2 characters, I believe, to be banned here. But I think, or to be locked in here rather, I think that Vendetta most likely, they have Mercenary and Forward. I think Prisoner has to be one of their locks-ins here. They know it's going to be the Sculptor, so they want a Cipher's character. The other option, they could go with something like Painter. You know, Painter's a good kiter against that Sculptor because you can transition in that open, take that basic hit, and you know, you can use those paintings actually to avoid it. So you can transition kite in the open to avoid getting statued. When the hunter gets close, drop a painting, use that to transition even more in the open. And Painter just overall such a strong kiter in the open, which is very strong against Painter. In addition to that, Painter has that chair time. As soon as the Painter gets shared, if the forward opts to stun on chair, you can instantly rescue that Painter, and they still have an entire chair time left over because of that ability, and that could be very strong for the survivors.
Indeed, because like I said, Painter is not really a survivor where you can get 1-to-1 trades. However, his kite can still be just as long, if not longer, than those kind of survivors. So, I mean, Painter's a very strong pick now, especially given Nepter's buff, where he doesn't need to cancel his painting to do vaulting or pallet dropping. It means he's very versatile, it means he's very easy to use now, and honestly, very good solid pick against a hunter like Sculptor. Because, like I said, like Eli said, kiting the open, pop-up strategy. If the Sculptor's in the open, he drops a painting like that, there's no way she can react to it unless she thinks proactively and looks behind her when she thinks they will drop it. But even then, it's hard to navigate when you're looking right behind you. And the Painter can just proceed to loot the painting, as we see happens whenever they see the hunter is not going to fall for the tricks. Usually painters end up looping their painting until getting out. Animation.
All right, so it looks like, yeah, Prisoner Explorer, I think. Did you see those bands as well? Yeah. Prisoner Explorer will be the last 2 for the survivors. So really trying to push for this Cipher rush here. They have they have 2 slow decoders with the Mercenary and the Forward, which is again, not ideal for the Cipher rush, but again, Pit Stopper's giving them 2 decoders as a Sculptor could be very, very could backfire really hard here. Again, you really want to ban the Psychologist, and I understand the reasoning behind that because of how strong Psychologist is, but again, giving them 2 decoders as a Sculptor could be quite challenging for this hunter to deal with.
Yeah, indeed. 2 decoders as anyone really is very painful to deal with. Even something as powerful as the Sculptor has a very difficult time getting to slow down Cipher Rush, because if you don't find one of these decoders, you're instantly in a worse position considering it's a Bon. It's a Bon.
That seems even less like that's very surprising to me. I would not have expected that, just because Sculptor at least can deal with those decoders fairly easily. Not quite as strong as Bon because you have that full presence, we can reach across the map, stuff like that. But without the Bon, without having any sort of Cipher control against 2 decoders, this is going to be very challenging for this hunter. I mean, this is just going to be like, this is such a tie comp for the survivors against a very strong tie hunter. I think Pit Stopper's in a good position to secure a draw here, but getting more than a draw, it's going to be very hard for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Bon doesn't have map pressure, Eli. Very good chase, very good camp. But what he has strong there, he lacks in map pressure. He's very slow, he's very cumbersome, and he's not really able to get around the map very quickly. Especially what happens if he finds a Merc or a forward. It's gonna be very tough for him if he doesn't have teleport. Huh? Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Send it again, please.
Go, Miki, yeah. Okay, just waiting for Miki to get in the custom, guys. Miki be lacking, I don't know.
Bro, I ain't lacking, bro. You ain't sent me an invite again. You guys want one more? I got it. I promise this time. Promise. I'm going. I'm not getting another one. Olive, can you send me another?
Alright, so, yeah, it's gonna come down again to, what characters...
There we go.
There we go. Okay, it's gonna come down to what characters does the hunter find first. And I think we should be able to be ready to get into the match now. But it comes down to what characters do you find first. Again, Bon, in comparison to Sculptor can chase technically any of the characters. They can chase Mercenary if they want to. They can chase Ford if they want to. But Bon cannot. Bon cannot get away with chasing a Mercenary effectively. They cannot get away with chasing a Ford effectively because they will get kited. Because those are such good transition kiters. And on top of that, Explorer on this map is a very good hiding character. It's very challenging to actually find Explorer hiding in the grassy areas because there are so many places for Explorer to hide here on this map. So it's going to come down, can the Bon find this prisoner? If the survivors rotate well and the prisoner doesn't get found, this could be very good for the survivors, depending on how well they're able to communicate and again rotate around this Bon.
It's a high risk, high reward team comp from these survivors and a very high risk, high reward hunter pick from Pit Stoppers right here. So honestly, this game's all gotta be about making the correct choices and seeing how it all weighs out. And your options and your choices are the biggest single-handedly impacting effects on your game. So especially on a map like Arms Factory, his first target positioning is going to have to be near perfect if he's going to get an efficient first chase. Sufficient, my bad.
All right, here we go. Let's see how these spawns are for the survivors and for the hunter. And you know, it is a smaller map, so it's a little bit easier to find certain characters. We are gonna have the No Man's spawn for the Bon, which means the closest survivor does spawn near that Shack Ruins area, and it is no, he's not gonna go there. Immediately heading towards the Water Tower, but nobody spawns here. So, this is very interesting. And immediately going towards Factory, only one survivor.
He's already gonna have a
Factory, and it is the forward. That is a this is one of the reasons why you don't like to go factory first as a hunter is that you know, not only is factory such a hard area to chase in, only one survivor actually spawns there, and it looks like it was the forward, which is not a good chase. Pit Stopper is going to go ahead and leave here, and it looks like the prisoner he's the one is down in deep sandbags, immediately rotating out, hiding away here, and he's going to find the Mercenary next. So this rotation is exactly what Vendetta wants to see here. He's going to have punching effect, but as long as he doesn't catch onto the trail of the prisoner at any point here, this is going to be so strong for him. And he does see it's the Mercenary and is going to have to leave yet again, using that punching effect to try to find the prisoner, and is finally going to be able to find them here. Cannot see the Explorer because they're in small mode, and the prisoner is now going to go ahead and rotate out. But a good early rotation for the survivors, and a good start for Vendetta.
Indeed. All this time that he wasted walking around all these targets, like I said, is a lot of time for these Ciphers to get done. Very nice, tight bomb dodges from this prisoner right here. Very nice shock. Beautiful. He's saying, you drop a bomb, I will shock you. Dropped like 4 bombs for a shock. Very good. Very good by Pit right there. Unfortunately, the prisoner giving a free hit, making that this chase is going to end a lot faster than it should have for the survivor here. Rotations may not have been for nothing.
Well, see, here the prisoner gets a lot of distance, though, which is the upside to this. Look at how far away that prisoner is. They have this pallet to work with as well. And they're going to throw it down a little... Ooh, they threw it... I'm not sure if they're going for the wrong side or they're trying to go for a vault there. You don't really want to do that against a Bon because they can just bomb the pallet. And I think the prisoner... Yeah, that's a 5-second bomb. Oh, good shoot for the prisoner! But does go down.
Wow, what a mind game and what a setup by Pit Stoppers that they're saying that they're going to cut off the kiting route very beautifully. Oh my goodness gracious, that was nice.
Now, I was going to go back to the point where the prisoner took that first hit. What they could have done there is just thrown down that pallet and ate the bomb hit. I think that would have been safer. That would have at least been forced Pit Stoppers to break the pallet or go for a blink and waste that blink. But again, this is another thing. The prisoner not doing a bad kite whatsoever, but unfortunately did not get blink out. 3 Ciphers are about to pop, though, for the Vendetta survivors here, though. So they are off to a very strong start. This should at least be a draw, possibly even a win if they opt to go for any sort of rescue.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very good kite. Rotation is very powerful at the beginning, like I said. And this time, Eli, you can see that they're not lacking on their Cipher. They're not being punished for it. And this is why Bonbon was a very interesting choice, because if it was Sculptor, they may have been punished for it. They may have had less Cipher progress. You could have been chiseling right about now. But Bonbon, all he can do is sit here and wait for them to rescue. If they choose not to rescue, he loses all that time. This is why Sculptor is more advantageous in this position.
And detention is, or sorry, and dungeon is still an option for the survivors. Pitstopper's opting not to bring any sort of detention here, and he's going to immediately head over towards this ruins area. That is the location of the forward. Early rotation, excellent communication from Vendetta. Yet again, the rotation has been quite phenomenal here. Trump card is available. Will he opt to teleport, or will he continue after a full football forward? Again, still has blink, but not able to find the forward. So Vendetta's communication, hiding in rotation, still up to par here, and it's becoming very hard for the Sun. This is exactly what we're talking about, how drawing is pretty much the only option for Pitstoppers unless he's able to, potentially stuff a rescue or get a quick down at any point. But the rotation early game was very strong, and he's going to head towards middle where the Explorer is hiding. Can he find him here? Explorer needs to hide from this Bonbon. If he can force them to chase a mercenary or a forward and not get found here, this could be very good. If he does get found, this could be a problem. And he does get found.
He's going to get found right here because you can see all these bombs going off. And very interesting moves right there, honestly.
It doesn't take the hit.
Yeah, it doesn't drop the pallet, which is not very beneficial for this.
Oh, he
fails the blink. This is huge.
This is the blink.
I don't think leaving that pallet was the best move right there, though. But he does have broken windows, so I guess it's gonna work. But he does give up a bomb hit as a result of that choice right there made instead of staying at that pallet. Here comes the pallet boost. Let me use it to loop around. Very interesting. I probably would have just pushed.
Oh, I think they did the miss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Outside by the Explorer right there. Buying even more time for these Ciphers to get cracked. But Ford got... Wow, this Explorer is hiding amazingly right now in such a bad area, too. Against Pitstoppers, a very well-known, powerful Bonbon. Interesting to go small right here. It doesn't really do much for them, but wow, what a kite.
That doesn't actually do anything. I would expect the forward go for a stun on chair here so they can give that password page, but it looks like Vendetta's not opting to go for it. They're going to try to prime the Cipher instead. Now, this is risky. I think going for a stun on chair would have been a lot more effective. Again, you could have picked up that password page. There's a 50% page sitting on the chair, and I think they should actually send... forward's going to keep decoding. Pitstopper's not... He just lets the mercenary get in here. I'm surprised. He let the mercenary sneak in, and mercenary could have actually gone for that rescue.
Grabbed that rescue right there. There was no reason not to. Link was expired already. There's no way to get air shock
at
all.
There's the rescue.
There's the rescue.
Did they get it before half? I didn't actually see.
Yes, I think he did.
Okay, and we do have the Cipher machine almost primed, so they should be able to pop it here. Unfortunately, yeah, there's the pop. They did send the Explorer into a bit of a weak area, but no detention for Pitstoppers here. And I don't think he actually got a hit. Yeah, Explorer is going to stay alive here. So, okay, so he did get the hit on him. But Mercenary's going to push that exit gate. Can he get the down quickly on this Explorer? He's able to get that down. He's going to try to push the gate here. Can the Mercenary get it open in time? Looks like not able to do so, but one elbow pad is still available. And no detention, as we talked about.
And no detention right here is going to be very difficult for Pitstoppers right here.
There we go.
Able to down your target immediately, it's going to have to chain bomb, and it's going to take some time. But it looks like he's still going to slug this Explorer. Is everyone in this area?
Well, and Miki, there he goes for the stun. Does he get it? Gets the stun off. Beautiful job.
Can he body block? I don't think body blocking a Bonbon is the wisest decision.
Yeah, that's not a good choice there.
Yeah, he's not going to swing. He's just going to go for bombs.
Something to keep in mind, Miki, is this forward should still have Tide Turner, so if the Explorer dies on a chair near the exit gate... Oh, but he ran away from it. I would have just tried to get close to the gate there.
Interesting that Pitt's not going to try to force them out the gate. I think that's the best.
Force them out here.
He needs to force them out. That forward has Tide Turner. That forward has harassing potential. He can just wait, stun on chair, and get the Tide Turner rescue. Pitt needs to force this forward out of the gate right here. Chairing at basement, I guess?
But even then,
can go for stun rescue is still possible. It's very dangerous.
Oh, he missed it. He missed the stun, though.
He's going to need to get out of here. He's very vulnerable.
Yeah, this is risky. Forward's going to... Okay, he's going to flip all the way using the rest of it here. So he's going to be able to get out. Explorer will be able to struggle. Now, is Dungeon in this area? No, it is not. So Explorer needs, so what they need to do, instead of trying to heal up here, they should try to crawl towards the exit gate. Forcing. No, he gets up. Why? Why would you?
How
No,
does he get up? How he expires self-heal. This means that
no,
Pitstoppers can camp the Explorer for as long as he wants and force them out without any worries. This is very no longer a good situation.
no longer. Yeah, no longer a winning position. And the
Wow,
Explorer was about to struggle free. The Explorer could have struggled free there, but wow. So Explorer kited so well just to unfortunately make a huge misstep in the end. I don't know if it would have mattered. I think Pitstoppers could have probably still secured the draw, but would have been a lot harder. And now Vendetta immediately losing any sort of pressure for a win that they had with that one self-heal, unfortunately. Still able to get the draw, so it's not too bad. Yeah, they did unfortunately lose out on that winning option as soon as that Explorer popped that self-heal.
No, yeah, that's unfortunate because you see, using that selfie right there was not necessary. Not only would Eli be down, would they have struggled free, but they also would have been in a very good, strong, maybe possible win position again with Ford at time. But Ford did miss a stun, which does like kind of suck. But like their self heal was not the best idea right there. Pitt decides that he can now have all the time in the world to push out those survivors, and it just made it very easy for him. And overall, like Eli said, giving any chance of a potential victory, just throwing it away.
All right, so back onto Vendetta's side here. They're going to need to get at least a draw if you're the hunter here. And I think, if Nico could potentially secure out a win here and win this round for Vendetta, that could be very crucial. But, yeah, we'll have to see what he goes for. They are going to ban his Sculptor, so this was a little bit more dangerous territory for Nico. He's going to have to go with one of his lower-tiered hunters. Like, Dream Witch is still very strong, Axeboy is still very strong, but the Sculptor definitely the best, and the hunter that he succeeds with the most. So without that as an option, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. Back on the pressure back on last Cipher, though. They're going to have to try to push for at least a draw here. If Nico's able to eliminate 3 survivors, then that will win the round for Vendetta and tie things up. And a lot of pressure on both sides here to actually try to push for wins from their respective sides.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely going to be a very intense game for Vendetta. Need to pull a draw or more, correct? To win the round? Yeah. So this is going to be very high stakes for Nico. We see that he's going to have his Sculptor band. He can pull out the Dream Witch. He can pull out the Axe Boy. He can also pull out his Wheel, as I've seen before. Like, it's possible. Anything's very possible for an including here, but like I said, stakes are high per usual. Users bracket, so yes sir. Stakes are very high, and we're just gonna have to see how this unfolds. Both sides having very strong survivors and very good hunters, so teams being evenly matched also makes this very, very intense. Honestly, there's no cakewalk for either side of the team. It's definitely going to be more of a hike through spiky thorns, cactuses, if you will, cacti, if you will.
All right, so how the points currently are, I believe it is currently 8-5 in favor of last Cipher. Again, it comes down to rounds, not points. So if you're if you're Vendetta, you don't need to get a whole lot of points here. You just need to get some sort of enough points to win rounds. So if, for example, if Nico had an excellent game, got a 4-person elimination, that would actually that'd be incredible for Vendetta. Not only would that put them up in terms of rounds and in terms of points, it's just very unlikely for something like that to happen. So if you're Nico here, you want to try to push for at least a draw, which is definitely within the range here, and then try to go for a little bit extra, maybe get a 1 extra kill at any point. So it looks like the 2 bans for Nico should be in a moment here. We have to wait for them to update, but what hunter do you expect? He has Axeboy, he has Dream, which is an option, Miki. What do you think we're going to see here?
Well, judging from the fact that it is indeed Arms Factory, I'm thinking Dream Witch. Dream Witch has very good window blocking potential, very good trap potential, and every kiting area has a wall to cover her sights, her position from these survivors. And Dream Witch can take high advantage of this, considering that whenever the less information that the survivors have, the easier it becomes for the hunter to execute their plans without any interference whatsoever.
It looks like it's going to be for the bands. It looks like it's going to be mechanic. Oh no, seer and psychologist. So seer and so round one, early band here with that psychologist for Nico. That's very interesting. Seer as well.
Definitely a dream witch then. That's definitely a dream witch then. I'm just saying. Definitely a dream witch.
Well, something to keep in mind, Miki, is these two characters are also very strong against Axeboy. Axeboy is not a chip hunter by any means, other than the fireball hits. But you can dodge the fireballs and force 3 basic hits. You can actually force 4 with the psychologist and an owl. So it would most likely indicate towards Dream Witch because Dream Witch has no chip potential whatsoever. But Axeboy is still a possibility. Looks like mechanic and forward will be locked in here. So Nico actually has an option to ban that mercenary, which is exactly what I expect him to go for here. If he is opting for that Dream Witch. And again, Vendetta did pick this map. They chose Arms Factory as their round 2 map selection here. So Arms Factory, arguably the best Dream Witch map in the game. So not only is it a small map, which allows for incredible control from Dream Witch, as you were saying earlier, Miki, there's a lot of windows that can be blocked with that main body and prevent the survivors from vaulting. So not only would Nico have a bunch of map control with a lot of those center chairs, he also has incredible chase. And it can be very hard for the survivors to actually cut that Dream Witch early game. And it is that mercenary ban, as we predicted, so I would expect Dream Witch here from Nico.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, those are the 3 Juggernaut locks, and those are the 3 survivors that are definitely provide a lot longer kites, a lot tougher stuffs for rescues, and just overall annoying for the hunter. So it looks like, yeah, Dream Witch is going to be the move here. Because I don't think Axeboy has any reason to ban Mercenary, considering that when he gets full presence, a Mercenary is quite easy to track down with his fireballs and his slowness. Because Dream Witch overall will have strong map pressure for the entirety of the game, and just having this is going to be a lot more beneficial for Nickelodeon as opposed to using Axeboy, where he'll probably have a strong early game, but his end game will be a little rough because he's still 1 unit, while Dream Witch has 3 or 4, maybe 2, 3, 4 units of pressure.
Right. So for the next 2 characters for Last Cipher, they have mechanic and forward locked in. I would expect them to go with another rescuer in prediction of that Dream Witch. Possibly Gravekeeper is a pretty strong rescuer against Dream Witch. You also have support characters as an option. I don't think we're going to see a Priestess just because this is such a weak Priestess map. So I would expect probably something like a Gravekeeper, and it looks like it's going to be possibly also Prisoner. Prisoner also another good character. Again, the survivors want to push for a draw here, so they could just go double Decoder and try to rush down the Cybers as quickly as possible. The biggest downside to Dream Witch is that Dream Witch has to use that double patroller usually to get it down. If you're able to get any free hits from with the Dream Witch early game, that is how Dream Witches can secure wins, because they can get quick downs. But if you take a long time to get it down, forcing them to use 2 patrollers, then it's going to be very hard for Dream Witch to win a Cipher rushing team like Mechanic Prisoner, and could easily turn into a draw. And it looks like the bans, as we predicted yet again, Gravekeeper and Prisoner for Last Cipher, and Nico is going to lock in that Dream Witch.
Yeah, indeed. Like I said, Dream Witch, Arms Factory, very powerful pick. And honestly, the map width is also going to be very advantageous for her. And all she has to do in the end is expire a lot of pallets, as we saw in games like Legacy versus, I forgot who was, but Legacy went against this Dream Witch, and they tried to buy out as much time as possible. But the Dream Witch ended up expiring almost every single pallet, Legacy still being able to pull a tie out of it, though, which is very impressive. Because when the pallets go, survivors die. There's no questions about it. It's very difficult to try without any kind of balance.
Yep. So again, we'll see which players outplay which characters. It also comes down to as long as Nico, it's actually very interesting. When you think about it, if you just briefly think about it, you're like, oh, I would rather find Mechanic as a hunter, right? Because Mechanic is the easiest character to kill. But as a Dream Witch, that's not the case. Dream Witch can actually chase pretty much any character without a lot of kiting abilities, because they can just patroller them twice. So if you're chasing a Sea with no owl, or you're chasing a Perfumer, or you're chasing a mechanic, it all ultimately becomes kind of the same thing, the same idea of the chase, because you just go for that patroller, you go for that hit, you go for the second patroller, go for the second hit, and you get a down that way. So actually going for the prisoner first as a Dream Witch is more beneficial, because when there are survivors injured, the mechanic decodes slower. And Prisoner also has no abilities while sitting on the rocket chair. Whereas if you down the mechanic first, the team still decodes at max efficiency, because no one's affected by the mechanic being injured. And on top of that, the mechanic can still decode away with her bot, and Prisoner can continue to make connections, which again the Prisoner cannot do if he's on chair. So if Nico can spot out the Prisoner early, that could be very good. And the Prisoner is really going to be the key in this game. How well can they kite in comparison to the mechanic, which is usually the case.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just going to see how things go from here. Anything could happen. Team Cipher having an excellent lineup of survivors, and Nickelodeon being a very excellent hunter. We're just going to have to see. Spawns are going to be huge. Play into this. We're going to have to see where they spawn, and we're going to see whether or not the hunter has favor or the survivors have favor. Every little thing determines this.
That's absolutely right. So, so we're just going to wait to get into the match here. Can Nico spot out the Prisoner first? Again, is going to be the theme here. It is another reason why this is such a strong map for Dream Witch is because of how small it is and how fast Dream Witch is. Dream Witch is the fastest moving hunter in the game with that main body. Besides maybe something like Breaking Wheel, of course, but Dream Witch can get around the map very, very fast. Can locate that Prisoner early on, especially on a map like Arms Factory, and so can they find the Prisoner? Again, it will be the key. Loading into the match here. Let's see where he spawns. It looks like it's going to be the shack window. And Nico probably going to head towards No Man's Land, heading towards Water Tower Ruins. And it looks like that is actually the forward that's over there. And the mechanic. So no Prisoner here for Nico. Unfortunately, Prisoner spawning at Factory, which is beautiful. Factory spawn for the Prisoner, which is exactly what we want to see. But Nico is able to catch onto the trail of the mechanic, which is also not too bad of a find as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Having this start right here in Front Gate Ruin is going to be very beneficial for Dream Witch, because look at all this traffic that's right here, blocking off Walmart's route back to this pallet with the other follower. But unfortunately, she ran into the wall for whatever reason. But gives a free hit right here. It's going to be huge, making sure that Nico's not going to have not nearly as tough as the time chasing them. Only use one controller instead of two, which is going to be very good for him. Because if there's even one patroller available for the camp, it's gonna maybe not even one.
He doesn't even need it. He doesn't need it. Instant. Wow.
He doesn't need it. No, this means this is gonna be a very powerful camp for this Dream Witch, Eli.
Yeah, 2 M1 hits. What I mean by M1 is no abilities needed. Immediately getting 2 basic hits on the mechanic, no patroller, not even a trap needed. So excellent job from Nico. He's going to take the the mechanic all the way towards this middle area here as much as possible, so he can pressure these ciphers. Bring the leech over as well, and the Cipher rush is very, very slowed down. The Prisoner was able to help the forward get some of that Cipher done, but he can also go ahead and chase this bot down as well. So this is such a good start for Nico. The Prisoner going down quickly, and he's going to be able to camp the bot Cipher as well. This is not good for the survivors.
No, absolutely not. That was a very fast down, and the pacing is definitely in favor of the hunter right here. But like I said, with the mechanic out, with Doll out, anything's really possible right here, considering the Doll's up there at Front Gate Cipher right here. Mechanic having the broken windows build, which is going to make her kite a lot longer. And this rebound's actually very possible, considering that...
Oh, beautiful mind game!
Dang, what a mind game from Nickelodeon right there. Wow. Knowing that he would try to walk through the pallet and just step back so beautifully and so quickly. And the mechanic is over there going to get the base.
And the base.
Driver should not rescue whatsoever.
And, Nico could have taken advantage of that forward there by putting a leech on him, but did not opt to leech the forward, which I think is a little bit of a mistake here from him. We still do have some very strong Cipher rush from the survivors. They still need 2 full Cipher machines, but that mechanic stall, putting in a lot of work, plus the Prisoner connection, we see the downside to him finding the mechanic first instead of the Prisoner. So looks like forward possibly pressuring. I don't expect him to go for any sort of rescue. There's absolutely no reason to push for a rescue. You're most likely just going to get stuffed if you do that.
Yeah, you're just going to put yourself in a worse position if you decide to try to rescue right here. Gets the blink right here. It's going to be really good because anyone at like less than full health against a Dream Witch in later games, in mid game, is going to be very good for him. As we see a strategy with Dreamwitch sometimes is even just to tag everyone. Make sure that they're forced to heal and not decoding. And when they do this, the Dreamwitch has a lot of options on how to maintain this Cipher.
Yeah, and Nico, again, opting not to leech any of these characters, finds the forward, but it's not going to matter. He's going to pop this last Cipher machine. At best, he's going to be able to get a draw. So even with Nico getting that quick down on the mechanic, his Cipher control was not as good as it could have been here, unfortunately. And that is costing him any sort of a win here. They do have that Cipher machine primed now. And as soon as this forward gets hit, they're going to go ahead and pop it a little bit early here, but I don't think it's going to matter. Forward's going to get that speed boost. And here, Nico, you need to push the exit gate here, but I don't think he's going to get there in time. So it might actually be better for him to just chase down the forward. It looks like that Grid Keeper's gate already 50% of the way done, which
very
means
risky move by Nico right here. Very risky move. Now he needs to find the forward as soon as he can because he cannot afford to lose right here. But look, he's got him. It's going to be okay for him in this situation. He didn't lose.
Fall away here.
Oh,
Nico
yeah,
he needs to bring his main spawn. He needs to leave the spawn on top of that dungeon, so there's no chance at the forward getting to it. He needs to bring the spawn over to dungeon. No football available for this forward, and he needs to camp this out. Now he needs to bring this leech in. Oh, he's switching off it. This is risky. You need to switch back to your leech. Does switch back in time.
He's gonna get the dungeon. He's gonna get the dungeon. All right, very good. But his forward has Cipher.
And he gets the pickup.
No, he cannot.
Just in time.
I actually had it for a second.
The forward, I think what happened, the forward stopped a little bit early there to try to get it, and it looked like he was going to get it there, but he stopped a little bit short there, and Nico was able to push him back just enough. That is, unfortunately, the downside to not bringing sticker, so Nico does secure the draw. Okay, that is exactly what he needed. At least that was the minimum requirement for him here, and he did that job at least here. So last Cipher is going to tie up this second round, and we're going to be going to a third round here. Vendetta needs to get a 6-3 win in this third round, at least to tie things up here. So they really want to try to push for a win there, but unfortunately, again, you see the upside of the prisoner mechanic combo. That Cipher is just so difficult for any sort of hunter to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, Eli, a lot of better decisions can be made by Nico, like deciding to leech all the other survivors. Like they were basically offering leeches for Nico, but he did not take advantage of that, unfortunately. And that might have costed him right there, Eli. He could have very much had a win.
Absolutely. So, again, pushing into the third round here, we're going to have another coin flip to decide who gets to determine the last map. That is actually very, very big because a lot of these teams have their, they have their like specific favorite maps, right? That they like to practice on, that their hunters are favorable on, that the survivor team is favorable on. So, we're going to see who is able to actually win that here, and that could be very beneficial for either team. And again, it's going to come down to how well can Vendetta play this last round. Nico is going to be left with that Axe Boy. And Nico's Axe Boy is a very strong hunter. Unfortunately, it is not as strong as the hunters it used to be and does get countered quite a bit. And I'm actually very excited to see, will he opt to ban something like Entomologist? I don't know if Last Cipher actually has anyone on the team that is an Entomologist player specifically, but Entomologist is such a strong character against that Axe Boy. And you typically would see Axe Boys going to go ahead and ban the Entomologist because of how strong she is overall. Those bees can block those flames and absorb a hit.
Indeed. I mean, Entomologist is not nearly as popular as a pick as she was near the beginning. Yeah, because like she's been nerfed, and honestly, I understand that she's still pretty decent, but like I said, it's a round 3 pick. So Eli, we might be able to see her. What do you think? Also, Patient like possibility too.
Patient, that would be exciting.
Yeah, very exciting because I love Patient gameplay. Trust me.
Yeah, that would be interesting. It looks like we're gonna have the coin flip, and Vendetta won, which means that Last Cipher does ban one map. It is gonna be Leo's memory for the map ban, and now it's gonna be on Vendetta to choose which map they want to go for here. So if you're gonna play an Axe Boy, Miki, what map do you think would be the best for Axe Boy to play on, and also challenging for the opposing hunter to play on?
Well, you see, when it comes to being able to play Axe Boy well on a map, he's quite versatile, so nothing big. Definitely nothing like Moonlit, nothing like, wait, actually, I'm thinking Sleeping, Eli.
Sleeping Town could be interesting. It is challenging to actually dodge flames on Sleeping Town because of the narrow alleyways. So Nico could use that to his advantage here. We typically would see Ever Sleeping Town get used for something like Breaking Wheel Sculptor or Dream Witch, because it's easy for Dream Witch to trap survivors, it's easy for Sculptor to place those statues in those alleyways, and it's easy for Breaking Wheel to maneuver around because of the lack of windows on that map. But I think that Ever Sleeping Town could actually be a logical choice here for Nico, using that Axe Boy to try to block the survivors in, lock them in those alleyways and hit those flames, making it challenging for them to actually dodge them. So it could be an option. It's a tough map for hunters to play on, but if you're confident in that map, especially playing a hunter that's good on that map, it could be a kind of a dual sort of weapon against the opponent, because it's good for your hunter and also weak for their hunter and strong for your survivor side.
Yeah, absolutely. Because here's the thing, Breaking Wheel is indeed not as good as people would say on Every Time, because all the windows is available. So when you said make it difficult for the opposing team's hunter, that really urged me to think about it, reason with the possibilities of the choices that could be made here. And yeah, I honestly think Ever Sleeping, solid pick.
Oh, Miki cut out a little bit there. You still there, Miki?
Yeah, I'm still there. I'll be right back, though, okay?
Okay, no problem. So it looks like, as we were talking about, another map that Vendetta opted to go for was Sacred Heart Hospital for the Axe Boy, which seems unlikely. Sacred Heart Hospital is usually a very weak map for Axe Boy, because it has a 2-story building that can be very easy to dodge flames. A lot of the ruins area are very good for kiting areas against an Axe Boy, but it looks like, I don't know what they're going to... Let me check to see if we have a map selection for Vendetta. And it looks like, they did go with the Ever Sleeping Town, just as we predicted. Last Cipher will be playing Hunter first. And I think that the survivors will most likely be banning the Dream Witch, banning the Sculptor. Ever Sleeping Town is going to be very challenging for pit stoppers to play, because his only other 2 hunters after Dream Witch and Sculptor are that Bonbon and the Bloody Queen. I think he also plays a little bit of Breaking Wheel, but don't know how proficient he is with that character. So I would expect him to go Bonbon or Bloody Queen. Both characters not too strong on Ever Sleeping Town. There's a lot of transition areas that can be very hard for Bonbon to hit those bomb chains, and it also allows for rotation against the Bonbon as well. Bloody Queen very weak on this map because it's very hard to actually hit mirrors. Those buildings are very hard to mirror around, very hard to actually trap survivors in with the mirror images, so it can be very difficult for Bloody Queen to play on this map as well. So this, I think, is a very good decision for Vendetta to use this map pick, and excellent coaching from Vendetta coach, who is iAlien, does coach this team. You really see making this team has improved so much throughout this ICL, and I'm very excited to see them play this well, especially in this third round. It's been a very close matchup so far, and let's see how this is able to play out. And so we're going to see the bans. It looks like Mercenary, Seer, and Priestess. I'm not sure if they got updated on the screen, but I think Mercenary, Seer, and Priestess will be the bans here for the last Cipher Hunter side, which definitely indicates Bloody Queen. There's no mechanic ban, which means that I would not expect to see a Breaking Wheel. If you're not going to ban mechanic, then you cannot really get away with playing Breaking Wheel. You're just allowing the survivors to get a free winner draw by not banning that mechanic. Breaking Wheel has such a hard time dealing with the bot, because you're actually forced to get out of your wheel form, kill the bot, then go back into wheel form, and then go chase a different survivor. And that wastes a good 14 seconds of getting in and out of wheel form because of the cooldown. On top of that, killing the bot, that's a good 20 seconds out of the way. That's not ideal for the hunter. So that Mercenary and Seer ban definitely indicate a Bloody Queen, because Mercenary can rescue twice against Bloody Queen. He can avoid mirror images very easily with those elbow pads. Seer can also force a third mirror image hit to get a down on a survivor with that owl. And then Priest is just a very, very strong character on a map like Ever Sleeping Town overall. That would be expected. Actually, I think it looks like it's Saber. Okay, so it looks like it's actually going to be Saber playing Hunter here. So not Pit Stopper. So this is actually, I don't know if I agree with this from last Cipher. Saber, a very strong hunter, but Saber does play characters that aren't quite as strong on Ever Sleeping Town. The Sculptor would be very strong, but again, not an option. Does play Naiad, who is not too great on this map as well, because it's very difficult to actually trap survivors in this area. And I think that it looks like Vendetta's gonna go ahead and ban the Naiad anyways. So they're forcing Saber to play his third hunter, which is Bloody Queen, on a weak Bloody Queen map. So I would have at least tried to go with Pit Stopper's Bonbon here because it's a little bit stronger than Bloody Queen on a map like Eversleeping.
Yeah, absolutely. Because banning their what's it called? Yeah, Blood Queen's a very easy time on this map, and it's going to be pretty versatile. But you know, they're respecting Pit's choices. Wait, it's Saber that's hunting?
It is Saber. They did switch to Saber.
Okay, well, I don't know if survivors get to know this before making their bans. Do they? Do they?
Yeah, you get to know ahead of time who the hunter is. Yes.
Okay.
So they do know Saber. Yeah.
I don't know. Naiad's not that difficult to deal with overall, though. Eversleeping being a very huge map, and depending on transition kiting, which kind of counters Naiad, Naiad counters looping. So I don't know. Naiad is a wise banner.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't breathe, guys. If you're wondering, I don't breathe. Okay.
No, he doesn't breathe. He just...
I'm just zooming on. I don't need to breathe. Who does that? What? Anyways, so it looks like we're gonna have. Yeah, it looks like forward and mechanic is going to be the locked-in characters for Vendetta, and yeah, Sculptor and Knight, as we talked about, were banned. So again, it's going to be Bloody Queen from Saber. So I don't think he actually plays any other hunters, and mechanic does have that Cipher Rush, could push for a draw. And you know, again, we're talking about this. We need a 6-3 win here for Vendetta if Vendetta wants a chance, right? So there needs to be some sort of 4-person escape to get that extra 5 points here. They would either need a 3-survivor escape and a 3-kill from Nico, or they would need a 4-kill from Nico and like a 1-survivor escape, something like that, if they wanted to turn this around here. But they need, in one of these situations, most likely one of them will have to be a 4-survivor escape or a 4-person elimination from a hunter. So going with that mechanic here indicates that Vendetta is trying to just go for a draw with the survivor side and put the pressure on Nico to go for that 4-person elim.
Yeah, absolutely. Nico's going to be able to... But depending too much on your hunter is not a very reliable thing to do, though. Like, you're going to need to be able to rely on your survivors as well, because as we see, hunters, they won't always get the best luck. They won't always have their best, like, play on their best. Like, you just have to be able to balance it between both sides of your team. And that's why the team works so well when survivors and hunters are both equally.
All right, so we're just waiting a little bit on the last bans here. A little bit of a delay here, unfortunately. Oh, it looks like having a couple of issues with the bot here. Apologies for the delay, guys, but the match should be getting started. We're currently in the ban phase still. So the time between the second and third round typically does take a long time because we need to do another coin flip. The loser of the coin flip needs to ban a map, then the other team needs to select a map, then the other team needs to choose hunter or survivor, then we have to go through the ban system all over again. So this between the second and third round typically takes a long time. You'll notice this over in China IVL as well. It takes these in between times can take a long time for the second and third round. But yeah, so we're still waiting on last Cypher's bans. I think there was a little bit of issue with the ban bot, which is what we use for to determine who's banning what characters and so on. But what do you think? What do you think Saber's next bans will be here, Miki? I mean, he did ban the Mercenary, Seer, and Priestess, expecting a Bloody Queen and Forward and Mechanic Warlock. And do you think he'll go for a Decoder ban? I don't think he will, because he typically doesn't go for Decoder bans. What else do you think he could actually ban here if he's playing Bloody Queen?
Well, here's the thing. With this kind of team comp that we're seeing right now, a pretty solid ban would be. What are already his bans? Either?
It is Mechanic, Seer, and Forward.
Seer, Forward.
Oh wait, no, sorry. It is. Are we using a different hunter? I'm not actually sure what's going on now. It looks like they're trying to change up the bans, but I'm not sure. I believe it was Mercenary, Seer, and Priest, if I'm not mistaken. That's not true. You're allowed 1 sub per round, so they should be allowed to sub again here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to check on that. Give me a minute, guys.
We got a little bit of technical stuff going on, y'all. Please be patient. Thank you guys so much for coming out here, spending your time with me and Eli here. It's going to be a blast, and hopefully we'll see who can take the crown.
Give us one moment, guys, to work this out.
Yeah, please be patient, everyone. Thank you all so much, guys.
Anyways, while we work this out, guys, oh wait, here we go. I think we have this figured out here.
You can go read comments real quick.
Yeah, Miki, go ahead and read comments while we figure this out.
Did I hop on a match to pass the time? Nah, guys, there's not enough time to do that. So it is today. What is today? Is that the real Paris? Paris by night? I don't know. That's what I say, Dad's Emphasize. Hello, hello, hello. What's with the eggs going around right now? I mean, I have a friend named Egg too, so I mean, shout out to you, Egg. You're awesome, bro. People don't know you, but you're like one of my favorites. You go broken? Yeah, absolutely. Remember your first Dream Witch game? You got kited for 4 ciphers and down the wall in basement. Yeah, basement's a very powerful move for Dream Witch, honestly, because she can secure a lot of traps there, a lot of pressure, having 1 leech on the steps and 1 leech at the chair. It's just nothing you can do if you're not Mercy.
All right, it looks like we are back here, and it looks like, yeah, they're not subbing to Saber. It's going to be staying with Pit Stoppers here. And the bans will be Mechanic, Seer, and Forward. So this most likely indicates something like a Bonbon, I would expect, possibly. Oh, no, actually Breaking Wheel. This would indicate a Breaking Wheel with Mechanic, Seer, and Forward bans. Yeah, again, I haven't really seen Pit Stoppers Breaking Wheel. I play against him quite a bit in rankings. Never really used Breaking Wheel, so I'm actually not really sure what he's going to go, if he actually opts to go with that.
I've actually seen him use a lot, Eli, actually.
Interesting, okay. Wait, hold on. Hold on, we're going over the rules just again here.
Alright, yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Anyways, continuing along here, we're currently on Pit Stoppers playing Hunter. Last Cipher wants to try to switch to Saber, but I don't know if they're going to be allowed to again. It's down to the referee decision here. Warden, our referee, is doing an excellent job trying to keep things going here, guys, so apologize for the delay. We know how things can get slowed down sometimes. Flashback when I called Eli and crashed his tournament stream. Yeah, I remember that.
What? What happened, Eli?
I think he called me on Discord when I was streaming a tournament and crashed the stream.
I would not want that to happen again. Plum over Pinto? Yeah, Plum over Pinto. For sure. For sure. Pinto, wait, what? Why are you... Okay, never mind, Pinto. You confuse me sometimes, my man. You want your autograph? Your autograph from what? From me or Eli? Probably from you, Eli, because you're on... Everyone knows you're on Bodybuilder magazine. You're the model for Abercrombie, my guy. Like, everyone knows that.
All right, let's think. Okay. I think we're back in here. It looks like it's going to be... It is Pit Stoppers. Mechanics, Seer, and Forward are banned, which indicates probably a Breaking Wheel. Dream Witch and Sculptor were banned from the Survivors, which does make sense. You don't want to give Dream Witch or Breaking Wheel as an option, or Sculptor as an option. It's probably gonna be Breaking Wheel. You don't want to give Sculptor or Dream Witch as an option, especially on this map. Sculptor, again, just the best hunter in the game, and Dream Witch can trap Survivors very easily in these alleyways, get those free hits without even the need of Controller. So it looks like they are giving Breaking Wheel as an option to Pit Poppers. We're going to see how well his Breaking Wheel is here in this tournament. Very excited to see what he's able to pull out. And from the Vendetta Survivor side, it looks like Mercenary and Priestess were the two locks here. Not going for any deep
locks, honestly, for a map like Eversby Town. Priestess being able to navigate effortlessly. Mercenary, same thing. Mercenary being a very annoying free rescuer. Insurance, like I said, a lot of times. He's very much insurance for the team. And the Hunter, Pit can honestly choose a variety of hunters in his arsenal with this given lock-in, because he knows the Survivors are going for a very versatile, very flexible type pick, and he probably will in return do something similar, especially around 3. Not having access to your most powerful hunters of your belt, you're gonna have to start pulling out some crazy things. Some unorthodox. Like sometimes we even end up seeing bio. We see like we even saw Ripper for ICL a couple weeks back. Papa, amazing job. And yeah, anything is possible. With Pit, I'm thinking it's a BQ or Breaking Wheel. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Breaking Wheel. Something I want to say real quick, so everybody knows. Just a quick update on how ICL is going to be played out. This is going to be the first losers bracket match. Again, for those of you who don't know, I explained earlier, but for those of you who recently joined us, it is the top 6 teams out of the 10 teams in ICL do make the playoffs. The 5th and 6th place team, it is a double elimination playoffs, top 6. However, the 5th and 6th place teams start out automatically in the losers bracket, and the top 4 teams automatically start out in the winners bracket. So we are having the first losers bracket match right now. 5th and 6th seed teams, last Cipher versus Vendetta. And then we will have next weekend, Saturday, we'll have the 2 and 3 teams play, which is WR and Fusion. And we will have Legacy versus Team Tickle as the 1 and 4 seed teams competing out in the winners bracket. And we'll just go from there all the way up into the finals. So it will be after this weekend. We have no more matches after today. Starting next week, we'll have the playoffs. And then there will be 2 weeks of playoffs starting next week. And that will be it for this season of ICL. So we will be posting a schedule in the Discord server as soon as this match ends. So if you guys have not already done so, don't forget to check out the Discord server. But if you want more information on ICL, thank you guys for joining us right now. It looks like we're having more bot issues, so I'm not sure what's happening. But we may have to just type them out.
All right, let's see. We're at standstill right now, and it seems like we're just going to be waiting. The 4th ban was indeed the Prisoner. This is to stop any kind of Cipher rush from going on, and it's very important to consider that your best bets are usually ties to keep the decoders up. But looks like our boy Pitstop right here is going to be pushing for a win.
All right, so so it was Prisoner was the next ban, so we're just waiting for Vendetta's locks here. And yeah, again, guys, apologies for the delay. This was not our fault. We're just having some issues with ruling. And yes, everyone stay confident, I guess.
More time to read comments, at least.
All right. So again, sorry for the delay, guys. We're still trying to figure this out. So the first 3 bans were Mechanic, Seer, and Forward. Sculptor and Dream Witch are banned. Sculptor and Dream banned. Yeah, and then we're gonna have Mercenary Priestess locked in. Then Prisoner was the next ban. And then we're just waiting for Vendetta to lock their last 2 survivors, and then for last Sniper pick their hunter. So,
yeah, absolutely. Because we're gonna need to see where things go with here. We can't really add on to what their thought process is until we actually see, characters. So guys, please bear with us. Thank you again for spending your time with us here at ICL. Me and Eli very much appreciate it. Also our other casters, Idaza, Olive, Bundy, we all appreciate it. Win recently, yeah. We love you guys all for being here today with us. You could be doing a lot of other things. You could be fishing, boating, jet ski, whatever you want to do in life. You could be doing all that, but you decided to come here and chill with us, and I highly appreciate that. And I'm pretty sure my bodybuilder boy Eli here does.
Oh my god.
I'm never letting this go, Eli. I hope you know. You said there was one rule that I could not have, but you didn't say anything about the other.
Okay. So it looks like it's actually going to be Saber. Okay, so we finally got this worked out. Looks like we were wrong with the thing. Normally this would never take this long, guys. We're having issues with the bot breaking down. We're also having issues with rulings because last time I was trying to do a lot of different substitutions, and we weren't. And it looks like there's a little bit of confusion on who's allowed to do what. So, yeah, okay. I think we should.
Oh my god.
Here we go.
It's an easy. It's definitely another ICL first, one not nearly as joyous.
Oh my god, okay.
You're right there, man. Joanna says the only water activity you can pull off is taking a shower. I mean, in some countries it's challenging to do that. Okay, never mind. We're not gonna go there. In some parts of the world, it can be very difficult to do that. They like bathing instead. But, I'll still give you your credit where credit's due, Joanna. I don't know why I named a lot of water sports, guys, but I was gonna add in skiing somewhere in there, but I just ended up not doing it. So, what do you guys enjoy doing for fun? Honestly, guys, since we're just chilling here, might as well. For me, I like live streaming. I like playing games. I like hanging out with my friends. I'm a very social being, and yeah, made a couple new friends this semester on college. Very excited to go. Finally go in person after my first year was robbed from me. So I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys like to do for fun? That's what I would like to do. Eli, do you live in the Himalayas or something, man? What is that noise?
Oh, that is, I am currently at my dorm in college, and there is a fan that is on. So I'm actually going to turn it off real quick. Give me one more.
Imagine being social. Shout out, the stream is sponsored by water. Water insurance. You can never go wrong with water. You guys can actually overhydrate. Now that is possible.
It is possible. It's true.
So don't drink above the recommended limit per day. Have you ever overhydrated, Eli?
I don't think so, but okay, Prisoner is going to be the next band, it looks like. Okay, so here we go.
Mm-hmm. So it's Saber that's hunting for last Cipher.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, thank God.
All right,
you're
yeah, we can go ahead and analyze this. It looks like it's going to be Saber. Sculptor and Naiad were banned. Saber did ban Mercenary, Seer, and Priestess. It looks like Prisoner is the next ban, which, again, heavily indicates that that Bloody Queen that we were talking about. So let's see if he has to go for that here. I don't think the thing with Saber, I think he only plays 3 hunters in that Sculptor, Bloody Queen, and Naiad. I actually don't know how much Bloody Queen he's played recently, because I know in rank he does play Sculptor, and then when Sculptor's been, he plays Naiad. So, I know he was a very strong Bloody Queen back when Bloody Queen was used a lot more in rank, but now I'm not sure. Again, Vendetta maybe trying to take advantage of him possibly being out of practice. I don't know. This could be another theme. We were talking about back with Pit Stopper Sculptor, and it did actually kind of urge him to play the Bon instead, which is something he's more used to. So it looks like we're still waiting for Vendetta's last two lock-ins here. And another thing we were talking about earlier, Miki, is Bloody Queen on this map not so strong because it's very hard to mirror around these buildings, and possibly allowing for the Vendetta survivors to actually kite out those mirror images.
Yeah, absolutely. Because honestly, it's very difficult if the Bloody Queen lands the mirror very perfectly on top of the survivor. It's very hard to run away without taking a hit because the elongated hitbox on that mirror image. But it's also very possible if they have even a little bit of distance on that mirror and they swing and miss once, that they could indeed end up outrunning the image. I laugh like ever sleeping, where there's a lot of leeway for survivors should a Bloody Queen be just slightly off with her mirrors.
Absolutely. And again, guys, sorry for all this delay. This usually would never happen. Again, we're just dealing with a little bit of communication issues and all that. So, yeah. So hopefully you guys are sticking around. I do appreciate everyone staying around to watch this, even though this last round has been dragged out for quite a while. But this is very exciting, very close. As we were talking about, last Cipher and Vendetta, two very even teams, both 2-2, and so far we can see that here. Last Cipher only a small point lead here over Vendetta. So things have been very close thus far, and let's see, who's able to actually pull out what here. And it looks like nope, still don't have the bans here from Vendetta. I'm not sure what's taking so long. Do have a 3-minute mark for which they can do their bans. It looks like, okay, got the bans off just in time. Psychologist and Gravekeeper will be the last two. This is very good lock-ins for the survivors. Psychologist is very strong against Bloody Queen because you force out either 2 mirrors and a blink or 3 mirror images overall. And the upside using Psychologist over something like Seer is Psychologist will actually get a speed boost when they get hit, even when they get that heal. Seer does not get the speed boost with that Owl. So interestingly, that Saber opting to ban the Seer instead of the Psychologist, although Seer is still probably a better character overall because you can give that Owl to teammates, whereas Psychologist can only heal herself if she gets chased first. But yeah, so we're just gonna wait for what Hunter Saber opts to go for, and again, it most likely will be the Bloody Queen.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I'm surprised that we don't see. Actually, no, it makes more sense. Never mind. We can see that Psychologist being utilized here because if a BQ tags somebody and chases another target, Psychologist can punish them by healing up their teammate instead. But the reason why the team opted to go for Gravekeeper as opposed to Perfumer is because they wanted to secure a secondary rescuer. That's very important in these later rounds, especially because a Perfumer is very good at kiting and only decent at rescuing. When it comes to rescuing, Gravekeeper is much stronger with his faster rescuing speed and his ability to get to chair much quicker and safer than a Perfumer would be. Because if a Perfumer gets found far out, she's kind of screwed. But if a Gravekeeper gets found far out, hitting that shovel and him having all that time to get there, not needing to perfume back as a Perfumer would, makes it very easy for him to get to the chair and makes it a lot safer. We're going to see a Dream Witch from our boy.
I'm quite surprised by this. I played against Saber a lot in the past. And once that Dream Witch came out, he pretty much stopped playing Dream Witch overall. So Saber really trying to, this is very, very risky from him here. It could pay off. But being a bit out of practice could come back to hurt him as well. Again, Dream Witch is one of those characters. You really have to be able to practice. Dream Witch is such a strong character, but so difficult to actually play. And we'll see if Saber still has it in him to play this Dream Witch against this team comp as well. He did, I believe, it's gonna be forward mechanic, as well as Gravekeeper and Psychologist. So this is kind of a difficult comp to play Dream Witch against. So I'm actually surprised to see a Dream Witch here. Gravekeeper, a good rescuer against Dream Witch 4. It's such a strong character against Dream Witch because you force them to constantly stay camping with 2 leeches, so the 4 doesn't create too much pressure and go for a stun on chair. You have that mechanic for the Cipher Rush, and Psychologist is just such a ridiculously strong character against Dream Witch because she can take 3 hits, and you can literally force the 2 patroller strategy that you'd normally do with Dream Witch doesn't work anymore. Bloody Queen's a little bit stronger against Psychologist because Bloody Queen can at least mirror twice and then go for a blink or something. But Dream Witch has to literally go for a trap and then 2 extra patrollers on top of that. It takes a ridiculously long time to actually get the kill on a Psychologist. And on top of that, Dream Witch likes to switch off of their leeches sometimes. So if you ever switch off of a leech of an injured survivor that was rescued, the Psychologist can just heal them back to full health, and they can easily rebound kite. So Psychologist is such a strong character against Dream Witch, so Saber taking a huge risk with this character. Let's see how it's able to pay off for him here.
Yeah, absolutely. Dream Witch is something where you have to be very comfortable and very confident with to use in a tournament setting, especially. Like Eli said, I have not seen Saber use Dream Witch in a very long time. But like he said, it's also going to be very up to how Vendetta reacts to his decisions and how they decide to counterplay the Dream Witch. But honestly, I'm thinking in round 3, it's really all about comfort. You have to be comfortable and confident with your choice. I'm thinking BQ still here may have been a little bit just out of pure familiarity. Familiarity is very important. Very, very important in 3rd round, because 3rd round is for all the marbles, guys. It's a very boomer thing to say, but it's for all the marbles.
And another thing that I was actually talking about, I've currently been working on a 100 Chills video with a lot of my team, a lot of my Fusion Meet members, and something we talked about is Dream Witch has always been a little bit better than Breaking Wheel for the most part, but now with Psychologist out, Breaking Wheel is a little bit stronger against Psychologist because Psychologist can be instantly down by a Breaking Wheel and you don't get to get that heal effect off. You can always do it once they're rescued, but if you get saved with Tide Turner and you hit them before, then it doesn't matter. Or if they get saved without Tide Turner, then you can just spike them twice and then go for another kill, which takes a little bit of time, but you can kind of play around that healing ability that Psychologist would normally have. So Psychologist not so strong against Breaking Wheel, but against Dream Witch, incredibly powerful, just as as we described beforehand, forcing out those 3 hits early game. If you're getting chased, and it's just so hard for a Dream Witch to actually kill a Psychologist or down a Psychologist because of that. And on top of that, you get the Psychologist rescued off before a bar runs out, and then I believe she'll get that heal off again, which forces another hit from the Dream Witch. Dream Witch is not prepared, which in no way is prepared to do so, and that is why Dream Witch kind of moved down and Breaking Wheels kind of surpassed Dream Witch in terms of playability in tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a lot more difficult for Saber, an inexperienced Dream Witch, to go against these survivors who pretty much know how to play them in tip-top shape. I don't know about Psychologist since she's newish to ICL, but it still could be very powerful. I noticed how we see a lot of Psychologists but not a lot of Patient. That's because Psychologist, in my opinion, is also generally better than him, just being able to provide value to her team. Because Patient's very good, right? But once he doesn't get chased, then what? He's a very good rescuer. That's why I run Tide on him. If I don't get chased, I have Tide, so it's fine. He honestly does not need broken windows, and it's very much overkill if you do that with him. But like I said, if you don't chase him, he doesn't provide too much value other than being another rescuer. So yeah, Patient could replace Gravekeeper in this situation, but Patient is also a very high skill type character. You have to aim correctly, know your length, know your distance, and know what does what. So Gravekeeper, very comfort, very good idea to stay safe. Playing it safe is honestly safe is the way to go. Better safe than sorry.
All right. So here we go. Looks like we're gonna have the Dream Witch as we talked about, and again we talk about this a lot, but it comes down to spawns. If you find Psychologist first, you're in trouble as the Dream Witch. If you find Gravekeeper first, you're in trouble. If you find Forward, you're in trouble. Depending on how well the mechanic can rotate, it's going to decide the match. And again, another reason why mechanic is so strong against Dream Witch is that even if you get found first as mechanic and you get down to that double patroller, you still have that bot sitting out there and decoding the entire match. So as long as the mechanic rotates and does a decent kite, forcing out 2 patrollers, then it's just so good for the survivor side. So Dream Witch, again, a fast hunter, so they can get around the map very quickly, find that mechanic as soon as possible. But Ever Sleeping Town is not the same as Arms. It's a little bit larger of a map, so it's a little bit harder for them to find that mechanic, and it's going to come down to how well the Saber know their spawns.
Yeah, absolutely. Ever Sleeping, since the hunters spawn in a circle rotation, they spawn all out on the outsides. So going in the middle is not going to be the wisest move for the survivors, but let's just see how good their spawn knowledge is demonstrated right here.
It is going to be fake gating. Wow, mechanic spawning in graveyard. That is the perfect spawn for the survivor side here. Beautiful
Finds
job.
the psychologist.
Yeah, that's
is he
not
going to chase
whatsoever.
That is not a good find. Nope, absolutely not. Psychologist is going to be very difficult.
And just like that, Miki, that is exactly what I was talking about. Inexperience with that Dream Witch, misjudging that hitbox, right? And did not get that hit that they could have potentially gotten there.
Exactly. It's all about experience, and it seems like Saber is lacking on this experience with Dream Witch, not knowing every nook and cranny of it is going to cost him. But let's just see how he pulls out. We can't underestimate him yet. Saber being a very excellent hunter. Maybe he'll pull something out. Maybe he'll catch on very quickly. Who knows?
Yeah. Now, something to keep in mind here is that that psychologist could have potentially, again, misjudging the hitbox. Their psychologist could have potentially forced out a leech hit there, but it didn't look like they were able to do so. Can they get to this next pallet? It looks like they're going to be able to. This is exactly what we're talking about. Psychologist. Psychologist already wasted a lot of time with this kite. Gets the pallets done as well. Beautiful.
Wow. This is going to be.
Yeah, beautiful job from Care the Psychologist here, continuing this kite so far, and this is exactly the downside to Saber playing this Dream Witch. Now he's forced to switch targets, but so late in the match. Already a very strong start. Ooh, mechanic not paying attention there to the main body showing up. Will they be able to get a hit here? Doesn't look like it. They may just go for this main body.
Basement. They need to get out of here. Near basement. That's very dangerous. It doesn't matter how long the kite is. If you die basement, that kite was seemingly for just a tie and not a win.
Yeah, you need to force a leech. Oh, the mechanic could have forced the leech hit again. This is another misstep from Vendetta. They could have forced that leech hit, but wasn't able to do it. Unfortunately, the mechanic running right into the main spawn there instead of going into the leech. They're going to transition towards middle. They need to get out of middle. This mechanic needs to die as far away as they can from the middle area, try to die in a corner of a map. Vendetta's still in a very good position, but they need to try to push their objectives by getting away from the middle here. We're going to see the mechanic now kite towards graveyard. This is what you need to see. Going to get over here and try to transition to this next pallet. Can they make it in time? I think they're going to be able to do so.
Yeah, they did make this pallet indeed. And why swing right there? It's going to waste even more time. This kite's very strong right now. Cypher's being done. Middle, complete. Middle, the key objective for the survivors. Now he's going to have a lot less pressure on that Cipher in the end. So it's going to be a lot more difficult for Saber here to apply pressure when it comes to endgame. I think he lost the mech.
No, I think he still knows where they are, but they're going to try to get the D-Leech off in time. They get the D-Leech off in time as well. Wow.
That's tough.
This is so good for Vendetta. They can get this vault off. Oh, can they get it off? Oh, no, mechanic.
No vault. No.
They would have made that. That might have just won the entire game for Vendetta. They would have had a broken window speed boost. They would have transitioned away from Gravekeeper Cipher. That one slow ball from the mechanic. They did such a good kite just to slow ball and unfortunately throw the kite there. Still not a bad position for Vendetta. They do have the bot out in play. Yep, bot's going to be able to finish the Cipher machine here. So we would expect the Gravekeeper to go for a shovel right here so they don't potentially get double hit. And they may not even need it. No, they're going to go for the shovel. That's smart. Does get it off in time, forcing the hit. They could probably get this off uninjured. You cannot get blinked here. Be careful. Very good job. Good patience. Takes that hit.
Great from Gravekeeper right here to acknowledge that being greedy for that no-hit rescue is definitely going to be the way to go here. I'd say that the pacing is in favor of both sides right now. There's really no way to say, but they are on a Cipher. Mech did die on a Cipher, which could turn this game around and have the Dream Witch apply more pressure onto it. It doesn't take a genius to see that applying pressure on your Cipher is going to be a best choice to make right here. And looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to see Saber deploy a leash on that Cipher, which is a very good idea, so that they cannot decode it and they're forced to do an entirely new one. Looks like Saber's right towards corner house. Wow.
Yeah, he's going to go for the last Cipher. He's not going to allow them to finish it, but again, the downside to this, Miki, is that we can get the rescue off. Does get the rescue off a little bit early, but he can only leech hit the mechanic here. He cannot main spawn hit the mechanic. And now this is where Ford's so good. Ford needs to not body block here. He needs to allow. That's perfect. He needs to let the mechanic go down. Oh, Ford didn't have Tide Turner. Wow.
Ford does indeed. Yeah, he did not. Maybe he was doing that for his mind. There it is, the patroller right there. That's going to try to mitigate any harass.
He needs to still try to go for the sun. If he can potentially get it off here, they can win. He's going to go for it. Does take that hit there.
He hit the wrong follower.
Can he go for another stun? No, we can't
Oh,
get this done. They're going to
no,
be
he
able to pop the
cannot.
Cipher. They cannot pop too early here. They need to wait for Ford to take a hit. Ooh, Ford should not be using football. The Cipher machine is pretty much primed. It is
No.
primed.
There's
Why
going to be
football
football.
there?
Yeah. There's
We should.
two of them. But like, here's the thing. Both of them are nearly done, right? Both ciphers are like
They
almost.
need to pop this Cipher right here. Here we go.
Yep, pop that cipher, and then they're gonna need the one at corner house. Yep, there it is. But I don't think that was the safest move. I'm thinking forcing a hit would have been better. A little more patience from Vendetta right here wasn't in order. But look, now that pallet is gone, it's gonna be a lot easier. Hunt's about to activate soon. Will they make this vault? They should have vaulted.
Yeah, they would have made that.
Perfectly fine. They would have made that vault and not the speed boost.
Yeah, that's a huge misstep from the Psychologist. If Psychologist vaults that there, that forces him to switch to Blink to get the kill. Now he can teleport on the exit gate and prevent them from opening it. All of a sudden, just like that, this could be a lot harder for Vendetta to get to pull this out. They were in such a good position, but wow, why did the Psychologist vault? I'm so confused.
I don't know. Yeah, Psychologist should have very much vaulted that. Probably thought Dream Witch already switched her trait, not paying attention to the game. Probably thinking that she was trying to predict a blink or something. But no, vaulting that would have been better. Even forcing out the blink would be much better because the Dream Witch cannot afford to have you be had to chase the Psychologist for that long. But now look at this map pressure going off Eli. The hugest misstep from Vendetta, giving Saber that option to teleport. When you give the Hunter options, the Hunter will overall perform much better and have like this smooth pacing of what he needs to do. Now he has eyes everywhere on the map, taking advantage of Dream Witch's traits very well by Saber right here. Like we said, it's like he did catch on very quickly. There's the Hunt coming in play. You can see that Hunt helping so much right there, killing that Gravekeeper over at that pallet. This is now looking like a loss for Team Vendetta, which could have been very easily preventable had that Psychologist vaulted that window.
Yeah, they need to get one survivor out as well here. So it looks like they get the one, which means Nico needs a 4-person elimination. If he's able to get a 4-person elimination, they will tie things up here. But yeah, just unfortunate missteps. As you saw, Vendetta really took advantage of Saber's Dream Witch being out of practice, but unfortunately, a few missteps in that end game there costing them any sort of a draw or win there. So excellent job from Saber to take advantage of that. But it looks like it's going to be that one survivor escape here for Vendetta. They need one, so there's no reason to push for a draw here. Oh, is the 4 going to go for it? I disagree with this. They need at least one. If they get 4-person elimination here, it is over. They have to get this one survivor out here. There we go.
I very much disagree. Yeah, honestly, we should very much. Okay, playing it safe. There it is, 1-person elimination, but it could have been much stronger, Eli. They had time.
I thought they could have won that match, but
me too, honestly. But a lot of missteps came along the way, and Saber just took advantage of all these missteps right here.
That one slow vault from the mechanic made the huge difference in the match. The reason why is if mechanic gets that vault off and the Hunter doesn't trait swap, the mechanic's gone. They get a speed boost, they cut away from Gravekeeper's Cipher. They would have had the last Ciphers primed before the mechanic even went down that second time. But unfortunately, they were forced to start a whole new Cipher machine because the mechanic died on that Gravekeeper's Cipher, which was about 70% of the way done. So once that came into play, they were forced to go work on that corner house Cipher, which Saber then pressured with the main spawn. Almost was able to get it done in time, but the main body patroller clutching up against that Ford and preventing the Ford from harassing out that win. And once you get to that situation, if the mechanic can get that, and then the other thing is if the mechanic gets the vault up and he trade swaps to Blink, there's no patroller. If you get the down on the mechanic there, you're still getting the down, which is fine. But then the Ford can harass that late game. This is exactly what we're talking about. And then Vendetta can still get the win because the Cipher machine would have been primed. So that one slow vault turned that game. Unfortunately, it may not have seemed like it, but it turned the game from a win to a draw. And then unfortunately the Psychologist not getting that vault off turned the win from a draw into a 3-person elimination for Saber. Good job from Saber to acknowledging. I still have a trade available. I can switch into teleport and pressure this exit gate, prevent them from getting that escape. But not, forcing him to switch to Blink there made it so he was able to teleport on the exit gate and turn it from a draw into a 3-person elimination. Vendetta's still getting the one survivor that they really, really needed there. But now we put them in a situation where Nico has to get a 4-person elimination only to draw. He will not be able to win from a 4K.
Yeah, absolutely. But at least they secured that one person out. If they got a 4K right there, oh man, it would have been over for them. Oh bad. But yeah, they played it safe. But honestly, I'd argue they played it a little too safe. And not to mention that that attempted blink predict. Oh man, that didn't rub me the right way. I was just kind of like, damn, that's unfortunate, you know. But we'll see what happens here with Nico in the wings of Hunter or Vendetta.
All right, so let's go ahead and check up on what these bans are going to be here. Ever-Sleeping Town, again, Nico going to be on that Axe Boy. So again, this map was selected for not only the Vendetta Survivor side to have a small advantage, but also for the Vendetta Hunter to have an advantage. And unfortunately, the advantage for the Survivors did not quite work out in their favor there, even though it was looking very strong for a while. Now it's going to be on how well of an advantage is Nico going to gain by picking this map for Axe Boy. Now, this is a Survivor-sided map, so it's going to be challenging for Nico to actually secure a 4-person elimination, but he is playing Axe Boy, which again, we talked about this, not a bad character for this map by any means, because it's very hard to dodge. There's a lot of narrow areas, narrow alleyways, which can be very challenging to dodge flames on. We'll see how accurate he can be with those flames. That really will make the difference in these matches. And we're waiting on his bans here. Could also go with another hunter. I know he also plays something like Bon, but again, we were talking about this earlier. Bon not too strong on this map because a lot of transition kiting. It's harder to aim bombs in certain areas. So especially because of the 2-story areas, Axe Boy should just be a lot stronger, especially because Nico has more experience with that Axe Boy.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said, it's gonna be completely different from how Saber was playing. Saber was playing in unfamiliar territory. Saber was playing in uncharted waters, and it was very difficult for him. As we saw at the start, Eli pointed out, not knowing her hitbox, but he's quickly caught on, which is very impressive by him right there. Seeing June, which is very difficult to play. Failing his trap attempts too was very tough on him, but he ended up being able to turn it around into a win, which is very impressive by Saber. I'll have to give him props for that. That's very hard to pull off, especially if you're inexperienced.
All right, so it looks like Mechanic, Seer, and Priestess are banned in last Cipher. Okay, so Mechanic, Seer, and Priestess, this makes sense. The Mechanic ban makes a lot of sense here. You have to ban Mechanic if you're going to be playing for a 4-person elimination. Mechanic is the best tying character in the game. Of course, Mechanic's not a good kiter, but even if she goes down quickly, she can easily still secure a draw. So eliminating that Mechanic definitely makes sense here. And it looks like we're going to have Seer as well, Priestess as well, getting rid of the support characters. So that's definitely what Nico wants for 4-person elimination. It looks like we're going to have Sculptor and Breaking Wheel get banned. So to me, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Because as far as I know, Nico has never touched Breaking Wheel in his life, but it could be that Last Cipher doesn't know this. And it looks like they're going to ban Sculptor and Wheel, so they're going to take the Dream Witch, which I don't know. His Dream Witch played pretty well the last game, Miki, and this is a pretty good Dream Witch map, so giving him the Dream Witch, I don't know if it's really worth it here. We'll have to see how this works for Last Cipher.
Nico is also more experienced with Dream Witch, Eli. We see him play it in ranked on several occasions.
Yep.
If anyone could pull off Dream Witch here, it is Nico. But Saber did very well for someone who's not experienced with Dream Witch, just showing how adaptable he is to playing different hunters and how he performs under pressure. Just amazing. But like I said, Nico more known for his Dream Witch and Sculptor. The best ban would have been Dream Witch Sculptor right there, because we'd have never seen Nickelodeon play Breaking Wheel. Dealing with an Axe Boy would have been a lot easier for the survivors here, rather as opposed to dealing with a Dream Witch.
He might still go Axe Boy. It's not a bad character here. They did lock forward. They did lock forward in Psychologist, so it's not too bad. But I don't think that that really would. It still doesn't really make sense in my opinion. So I disagree with that selection. But we'll see how it pays off. If he opts to go with any of those characters.
Mercenary ban's a very good choice here. Priestess ban as well. Nico respecting map advantages for survivors and just taking out any sort of like strong leads that survivors could get on him out of pure map knowledge. So it definitely is very smart of him to ban those survivors specifically. And we don't see this often, Eli. We usually see the classical bans of like forward, you see prisoner, is that a lucky guy? Oh no, Revi's trolling. The Revi didn't even chat this game was for Joggy, because Joggy asked him to play lucky guy, I guess, and now we're saying lucky guy. Oh
Honor's trolling, not quite Revy here, but yeah,
it's Honor?
Honor. It says Honor.
Honor, my bad. Sorry, that's my bad.
This I get Last Cipher wants to have as fun as possible with this, but they need to not get 4-limbed here. And going Lucky Guy, I don't think that's smart. I think Last Cipher is taking a huge gamble. Again, they're trying to have fun with these characters, but I 100% disagree with this. I would never allow my team to play a troll character in a tense situation. This is right. Keep in mind, guys, this is an extremely close matchup right now. Last Cipher has to get a survivor out here to win. So this is not like a situation where we can just kind of troll. So I'm really not sure what the game plan behind this is. It does not make any sense to me, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes out. I know Lucky Guy did get a small buff. I don't think it's a good one personally, but yeah, we'll see.
Here's the thing, Eli. Not taking Nico seriously can be a detrimental mistake.
Yep, absolutely.
You need to take this Hunter seriously, especially one as competent as Nico. Like, you guys have to take them seriously. If you do this could very well be an all or nothing.
This could be a huge backfire.
If this ends up backfiring on Last Cipher, they would never forgive themselves for this.
And I understand, and guys, I know you guys have seen Magician being used for my team because Joggy's a Magician player, but that was within reason, right? We play against Wu Chang. Against Wu Chang, Magician is very strong because it doesn't feed presence to a hunter that relies on presence. So, but Lucky Guy just doesn't do really anything, so it doesn't really make sense to me, but we'll see.
He doesn't provide value. He really doesn't provide value like whatsoever.
At all, yeah.
Yeah, no, not at all. His small buff of holding 2 items, yeah, I guess, but like, it's just not smart to underestimate Nickelodeon. Underestimating anyone in general is just bad, not a smart choice. But we're gonna see this happen. Oh wow, that's Honor, right? LC.
I think so, yeah.
And Zai. It's either Honor or Zai. Honor, okay.
Alright, have to recheck there. Alright, so here we go. Let's see if Nico's able to find the Lucky Guy first before they can search any chest, then it should just be a free kill for him. That's another downside to this character, so it really depends on spawns yet again. If you're Nico and you get Tinnitus, you want to check little chest areas. There's a lot of chest areas on this map that are kind of hidden under like little overhangs, where I guess the shops would be, like if it was like a street market or something. So let's see. For those of you wondering what his buff is, he starts out with a random item, and I think he can hold 2 items or something like that. I'm not really sure. But that I'm gonna be honest, that doesn't do anything. I'd rather just play an item where I know which character which I know which items I'm getting, like Perfumer, for example. And it looks like we're gonna have the corner house spawn from Nico, which means he probably will head immediately towards Fake Gate. That is the closest spawn. This is a good survivor-sided spawn. And it looks like the Lucky Guy spawns. He starts out with a flare gun, which is pretty cool. But keep in mind, Lucky Guy's flare gun stun is significantly shorter than and he finds the Lucky Guy first. This is excellent for Nico.
Yeah, absolutely. Just having that flare gun, yeah, it's going to do him a little good. Nico missing that fireball, though. Lucky I can take advantage of this by indeed moving off over to 11, which I heard this place was called. Yes. I used to call it Gazebo. Don't worry about me. But yeah, he's going against him at 11. 11, very strong survivor area because with the pallets and everything, it makes it very difficult for him to chase. Very hasty fireball right there by Nickelodeon.
Yeah, too early.
Way too early. I would have been a little more patient with that. In the open, shots fired right there. Shots fired. But
he doesn't transition away. He transitions to garbage corner. This is the worst cutting on the map. So this is a very curious route from Honor. I don't know what the mindset behind this is. You typically want to use your flare gun to transition back towards one of the middle areas. There's better cutting areas, and he will now give up a free hit most likely, unless he can make it to this tram, which looks like he's going to try to take here. And will the Hunter go? No, he's going to switch targets to Psychologist. Okay, this is not a bad idea here. He does have that flame sitting on the Lucky Guy as well. He may try to pull it when he gets off, or he's going to be a little bit more patient. Yeah, looks like he's going to be a little bit more patient. Let's see if he can get this flame hit, and just does miss that, unfortunately, and does get that first hit on the lucky guy right there.
Yep, there it is. But that first hit is at the cost of a lot of time right there. A Cipher. One Cipher at the first hit. But, wow.
And there's the down.
There's the down, pushing that blink. Really nice blink by Nico right there. Not holding back his traits as we saw before. It's not exactly a good idea to hold back on your traits, just use them, just straight up use them.
And this is exactly what we're talking about, guys. The lucky guy buff really not doing anything here. If you had a coordinator, this would have been so much better. The coordinator's flare gun lasts a lot longer. The chair time from the coordinator is a lot longer as well. Actually, the coordinator's flare gun is 30% longer. Oh, goes for the stun. Does hit it here, but it is a bit of a short stun, so it's not really going to get him anywhere. And Nico's going to push close.
It'll do. It's a baby stun, but it'll do.
Let's see what Nico can do. Goes for the flame. Does dodge it. Can he get this terror shock? It's going to be really close. Gets the hit, and he gets the rescue just in the nick of time.
Beautiful rescue by the forward right here. Beautiful rescue.
Goes for the stun. Oh, but he's giving up a double hit by missing that stun, though.
That no longer is a good rescue, unfortunately. Right there.
He could have gone for a second follow-up stun, but didn't go for it here. He's going to be able to immediately catch up to Lucky Guy with this speed boost as well. So Nico right back into this match here. And goes for that flame. Nice dodge, but no items to work with here, and he's going to go down.
I think that double hit was not a very good decision by the forward right there. If he's going to stun, he needs to make sure that stun is hitting and nothing else. Like, honestly, you need to make sure that you're getting it off and not costing your team a double hit situation like what just happened. Very, it's going to be a misstep from last Cipher, unfortunately. Nico grabbing the trees, getting ready to plant his plantation, I like to call it. But wow, what a nice strict fireball dodge by Whatmatter right there. Honestly.
Yeah, but a bit of an early rescue here. The Cipher Machine is not yet primed, so he's going to take the hit, and for some reason opts to go into the pallet there. Yeah, I'm not quite sure the mindset behind that. Vaulting into the Hunter and getting
getting a third hit. I think probably a misclick.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Unless they're trolling. There's no way they should be trolling it to this extent.
This is such an important match here. We're going to see the Lucky Guy vault the Cipher Machine, not yet primed yet again. Let's see if Nico can get this kill with a flame. He needs to try to go for a flame hit. That's going to be the most important thing. Honor's going to try to dodge it. Does not get the flame off in time. Gets the hit. Can they pop the Cipher? They get the pop just in the nick of time here.
And not to mention, look, Psychologist now can take a fireball without dying. This is huge. So if he decides to chase Psychologist afterward, but he doesn't need to have detention, so he's probably going to be wanting to use the fireball to speed up as opposed to hitting them with it. But right here, he needs to down the Lucky Guy, and he needs to switch, and he needs to teleport. What a fireball!
Wow,
oh my goodness, what beautiful angles by Nickelodeon. But looks like the gate's open, but look, purple fireball snitching out the locations of that Psychologist. This is going to be very close. We're going to see if Psychologist can indeed escape the wrath of this Axe Boy. And they're still up on 2-story. Wait, the Lucky Guy, wait, the forward's moving in too. I don't know if this is smart. Wow, what a stun. But that wasn't smart. The forward should have stayed within the gate. Having a detention around
I don't know what these guys are doing here. I'm not really sure what this is. They do get the one survivor escape they need here, but keep in mind, you want to get as many points as possible. So I don't know what Last Cipher's doing. This is... I'm not really sure what's going on. It looks like we're going to see... It looks like we're going to see him try to go for the Psychologist as well. Nico can still get a draw out of this. Yeah, he's going to see the Psychologist. This is still going to be a possible draw for Nico. This Last Cipher could have gone for a win here, but it looks like they're not going to take the win, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Why you wouldn't take the win if it was given to you, but...
It looks like a nice job from Nico getting them to go for that vault there. Goes for the turret attack. Does get the down. Beautiful
Look at the
job
knowledge on his hitbox right there, Eli. That's just pure knowledge. Pure.
Excellent job from Nico. And it looks like Lucky Guy got a syringe from the chest here, which doesn't really help him here because of detention. He's going to go ahead and push the exit gate. And he is going to leave. No, he's going to... Okay, he's going to go ahead and get out there. We're going to see a chair on the Psychologist. And Nico securing the draw, taking advantage of survivor mistakes here in the endgame from Last Cipher and able to get a draw out of it. So beautiful job. Excellent job from Last Cipher overall with the early game kites rotation. Very good Cipher rush, but Last Cipher making quite a few mistakes here in the endgame, giving a draw to Nico. An excellent job from Nico to take advantage of that. This will still result in the win for Last Cipher, so congratulations to Last Cipher. They will be moving on to the next round of the losers bracket. they will play against whoever one of the teams that loses on the next Saturday, which will be Team Tickle versus Last Cipher or Fusion versus Legacy. So thank you guys for sticking with us for this first round. So that was the 5 and 6 seed teams that just competed today in the losers bracket. The 1 and 4 again, and 2 and 3 will compete starting next Saturday. Yeah, very exciting match, very close match between these two teams. Yeah, what do you think about this, Miki? That was very exciting.
It was really good, solid matches I saw up until like very strong start from Nico with that sculptor. That was crazy. And Nico showing his versatility of access to Dream Witch, Sculptor, Axe Boy, him playing just a wide variety of hunters and Saber. Not to mention, we cannot forget that Saber over here played a hunter he was unfamiliar with in such a late round where all the marbles mattered, and he did so beautifully. So great job from both sides. And it was a very close matchup. Last Cipher and Vendetta playing on the same playing field, obviously. But yeah, honestly, that lucky guy choice threw me off. I had no idea how to respond to that.
And again, you were talking about that coordinator. Like, you think about coordinator. Coordinator would have been way more effective. It would have been easier to secure the win, actually, because coordinator, again, the flare gun stun lasts longer, so it would have given them more time to transition to a better kiting area instead of forcing him to stay garbage corner. And it also gives him a longer chair time because coordinator has that increased chair persistence. On top of that, coordinator vaults pallets and windows 10% faster. So you really see why these characters are just stronger than Lucky Guy, and why Lucky Guy doesn't really make sense in that situation.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I agree with you, Eli. It's just very interesting to see. But they did manage very well with the Lucky Guy. Lucky Guy did a very good kite at the start. Very strong opening kite.
Yep.
Well,
yeah, I was going to say, yeah, go ahead. Continue. Sorry.
No, my bad, bro. Okay, but in the end, it all matters about the end game. And they played that end game a little carelessly for my liking, but...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, going for very risky plays, Nico taking advantage, able to secure the draw again, as we were talking about. Almost even a 3-person elimination, but not quite there, unfortunately. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. We really appreciate you watching this first round of ICL, the first round of the playoffs, the winners bracket again. Very exciting. We'll be beginning next Saturday, so stay tuned for that. My name is Eli. I was joined here with Miki for ICL. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you all back here next week.
Bye, everyone. Take care.